not even running a mic, bro.
Oh, so then, yeah, so no mic at all.
Yeah.
Andrew, gotta get the good audio quality, man. We're right there.
What fucking good
Hi,
audio quality
everybody.
do you need
Welcome
from
back
that?
to Disney,
Only when you're
Oklahoma. It's an
making-
absolutely beautiful fall afternoon here in the Sooner State, and we are absolutely excited to get going with Legends of the Fall. Yesterday, it was rock bouncing and rock racing. Today, as you can see, activity underway all over the course here in Disney, Oklahoma, as Ultra 4 is getting after it here in this amazing off-road facility. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me. As you can see behind me here, it is a beautiful day here. We're in short sleeves, enjoying the weather, the changing of the fall colors, and we are looking forward to some incredible off-road racing here today. Erica Allred and Dave Arnold are joining me in our coverage to bring all the action to you. We're going to be here all day long. Hopefully you've watched some of the qualifying from Ultra 4 earlier today, live right here on speedsport.tv, and we're going to be with you all weekend long. So let's touch base first with Erica Allred.
Thanks, Ralph. I'm beyond excited for day 2 here at the inaugural Legends of the Fall. Yesterday lived up to all expectations as we saw some incredible racing and tight championship battles. Today we kick off our Ultra 4 USA qualifying, and all of the drivers express they're beyond excited to hit this never-seen-before course, as it's the perfect mix of terrain between rocks and woods, much like you see behind me. For more on today's racing, the other member of our broadcast team, Dave Arnold.
Thanks, Erica. Well, there's a lot of different terrain out there, and it's going to come into play for sure with qualifying today. You got to get a good qualifying position. Somebody rolls over during the race, well, it might impede your flow. So you want to be up front with the guys that are fastest. They're the ones going to keep the momentum going. Well, on top of qualifying for all the Ultra 4 classes, we got races going on. The Spider Tracks 4600, which is the stock Ultra 4 class, they'll be racing tonight, as well as the 4900s, which is the Can-Am UTVs. So we're going to see a lot of great action. Also, the NRRA will take it with the rock bouncers. So lots of great action going to be happening here. You got to get a good qualifying position. Back to you, Ralph.
All right, Erica, Dave, thank you very much. As Dave was talking about there, you got to get a good qualifying position. Somebody crashes in front of you, rolls over and blocks your line. What are you going to do now? You got to improvise, costing you all kinds of time. Well, as Dave also mentioned, there's all kinds of terrain here. Well, there's drivers from all over the place who look forward to coming here to Legends of the Fall at this amazing facility in Disney, Oklahoma. As far away as Canada is where J.P. Morin came from.
Hey, guys, one of the great things about coming out here to Legends of the Fall, well, it's meeting some of the drivers. Well, we know a lot of the big names, but it's the new guys, the first-timers that are come out here to basically proverbially bust the cherry, as we like to say. Well, we got a man from the Great White North from Canada, J.P. Morin. J.P., what are you doing down here, man? You gonna ready to have some fun here?
Absolutely. It's a bit nerve-wracking. We're pretty excited. It's my very first Ultra 4 race in the 4400 series and class, and I want to go to Hammer this year. So my all my friends are actually already racing. Told me I should probably come here and start somewhere. So I know it's the final, but we're excited to go test the truck and get our first race in.
Well, one of the things you have to qualify for the King of the Hammers, and that's the great way to do it, is being out here. Are you a little nervous?
Absolutely. So it's nerve-wracking. We're excited, nervous, scared, but we're ready, and we'll go out there today, try the course, and we'll go from there.
Well, let's talk about the terrain. It's a little bit different from where you come in the Ontario area. I believe you said originally from Quebec. You don't have all this here. You don't have these quarries. You don't have the rocks. You know, you got the forest, but we throw in a few more things out here for you. Is that in your mind? You're thinking about some of this stuff, the jagged rocks, the slippery rocks, and some of these nasty hills.
Absolutely. The climbs and downhill are what's on my mind right now. We're going to go out there, test it out, but absolutely. Our terrain that we race in local series, TMR Custom Off-Road Racing Series in Canada, is actually like similar to what's on the East Coast here in the States, like wood, tight wood, and muddy. But so we're going to go play on the rock, and the terrain here is absolutely crazy, but it's awesome. Yeah.
Well, keep an eye on this guy as he tries to qualify for King of the Hammers right here at Legends of the Fall.
Well, I'm not surprised to hear that he's a little concerned about what he's going to find out on the course. I've been out there. It is very intimidating, no doubt about it. One guy who can handle it, no problem, Shannon Campbell, multi-time king from King of the Hammers. He's going to be joining me right here in this seat when we come right back to Disney, Oklahoma.
Eliminate burnt plug wires forever with Excel Ceramic Spark Plug Wires. High-temperature double silicone construction makes them ideal for turbocharged and supercharged engines or any car with headers. Find a set for your application today at excel-ignition.com.
Affordable EFI is in sight now with Sniper EFI from Holley. Easy to install, self-tunes, and replaces most 4-barrel carbs. Forget cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, and flooding. Get big performance starting at just $999.95. Sniper EFI.
Well, Shannon Campbell knows that you got to get a good qualifying run in if you want to have a good race day. This is Shannon earlier here today attacking the course here in Disney, Oklahoma, and you can see how aggressive this course is. Just when you need it, there's plenty of opportunity to cool yourself back down, right, Shannon?
Oh yeah, you got plenty of water to cool down with.
So you're a 3-time king from King of the Hammers, and you've done it in a variety of vehicles.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the first time I came here to the Hammers in 2008, it was my first time, and I remember there was 45 cars, and I had to start last, and I got lucky and passed them all and finished first, and I was hooked after that, you know, and then again in 2011, I think I come back and won again, and then 2017 was probably the most memorable year. Me and my son, we battled it out, and I mean, talking on the radio back and forth, like talking crap to each other, and I mean, running into each other, sneaking around each other, and I mean, that was probably the most epic and good time. I remember we stopped at the last checkpoint coming in, like 20 miles out, and he had passed me when I wasn't paying attention down a wash, and I remembered this shortcut before this checkpoint, and he went out wide, and I went in and cut him off, and he pulls up behind me, and he goes, "Dad, you got a flat," and I'm like, "Yeah, right," and there was a guy in front of us, and we both split him, and I mean, we chased each other all the way in, and the helicopter followed us, and coming down the last hill, I mean, he's trying to pass me down one of them trails or whatever, and we dropped off the last one together, and I ended up catching a tire and blew the tire out, and he passed me, and he thought he had it, but I still had him on corrected time when it finished. I finished with 3 wheels, and so it was a pretty epic time.
Well, you know, so much is talked about Hammers as the epitome of this form of motorsport. Here we are in Disney, Oklahoma. A lot of people seeing it for the first time at Legends of the Fall. What's your takeaway from here?
I love it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's my first time actually being here. I've heard about this place since I was a kid, you know what I mean? I just never have had a chance to come here and wheel or anything. We're always different places. I'm actually glad we got to come, and what an epic picture, you know what I mean? The trees and everything behind us, and the water. I mean, it's beautiful, and the people are great here. Couldn't pick a better place.
Well, you know, Shannon, one of the things, too, is you have your kids with you out here. And we always talk about off-road being such a family sport, for sure. How is it? I know you talked about competing, of course, with, you know, Shannon, you know, but your daughter, your son, they're both racing here. You're way out there racing.
Thank you.
What does that mean to you?
It's pretty awesome. I love when we're out there racing against each other, and I mean, we work as a team when we're racing. If something needs something, you know, we'll try and pack it out there to them or whatever, you know, each lap, or, you know, we're always just working together. And but being out there going door to door with them kids, you know what I mean? Now they're aggressive. They're not little kids no more. You know, it's like kind of like playing with a snake. They bite, you know.
Well, one of the things you did bring out, talking about the family aspect, how you're helping out, is Wyland blew a motor?
Yeah, he lost a motor at Crandon. Unfortunately, he was killing it. I mean, him and Lauren were running up front, and he was just kind of waiting for the right spot. And 2 laps from the end, he lost a motor, and you know, we couldn't get the machine work done before we came. And I was going to race my UTV anyway, and I was like, well,
that's perfect.
Just so all 3 of us could race, I was like, take my motor out of my car, and I'll just drive the UTV, and that way we all 3 can race again and have some fun.
that's just another great story, Ralph.
Absolutely. The family aspect
Yep.
of racing here in off-road is definitely a big part of it. Shannon, we saw your qualifying run earlier today, and we talked a lot about how important it is to have a good qualifying spot. Tell us about the run. How was it this afternoon?
It felt pretty good. I'm pretty hesitant. It seems like the older I get, I'm not just hold it down all the way. It's hard, and we don't have much time to work on stuff before the race, so I checked up a little bit, and we ended up with the 6th qualifying spot, which that's pretty good. I feel like we're going to go out there and just try and take care of it. And there's a lot of people out there that are kind of like I was when I was younger. They're just so aggressive. They destroy their stuff, and hey, they used to do that to me all the time. I was like, I'm going to beat everybody. I never would check up for anything.
Yeah.
And that's probably what people loved about me. But now I got a little smarter. I'm like, I might be a little slow, but I'm there when it comes to count the checkered flag.
So was there a section on the course that you noticed today or from your pre-running where you went, okay, this is going to be the decisive corner or area?
There's so much. We kind of hit everything and tried to just get it in my head. Once you get things going by you, it's hard to there's so many places you can go because you're not just, it's just very open. So you try and find a fast line, and so it helps to get that pre-run in and be where you need to be. But sometimes you got to make a pass where you don't even want to, and that's where stuff goes wrong. You get flats or tear A-arms off or whatever. So I'm going to try and stay in my lines that I pre-ran and take my time getting around people, and hopefully we're there when it comes time to the end.
Well, I know one of the old adages they say, it's been beat to death, but sometimes slower is faster.
Yeah.
So, if you wreck it, you can't finish the race.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to think and be smart about the old bull and the young bull. That's all I got to say.
I've qualified first I don't know how many times in a lot of stuff, and I'd usually get out front and get, oh man, I took a wrong turn, and then they'd pass me anyway. So sometimes it's better off to follow them right to the end and then pass them or whatever. But yeah, I'm getting smarter as I get older.
There you go.
As you look forward to the race here, how will you prepare mentally for what you've got to deal with out here?
Just make sure you're hydrated and get out there and keep your junk together and have a good time. That's what I think. The more fun you're having, the less stress you have, and it just comes to you.
Do you have a way that you normally do it, a routine?
Wake up, eat breakfast, drink a couple of beers, a margarita. No.
That's when you get to Baja.
Yeah, just slam a couple monsters and make sure you relax when you get in that car.
Now, there's a professional driver. Find a nice, smooth way to work in that sponsor.
That's right, exactly right. A lot of drivers, the lucky socks, the lucky underwear. Is there anything that your routine you talked about, is there something lucky you bring with you?
No, I don't. I'm just a lucky son of a gun.
What's the nuttiest thing that you've ever had happen to you when you've been out in an off-road race?
There's so many I can't even tell you. I don't know. I'm trying to think the nuttiest thing. I don't know.
Nothing in particular comes to mind. You got a lot of bees here in Disney, Oklahoma. I'll tell you that.
Every minute of my day is pretty nutty, so I don't know. I can't think of one that just sticks out.
Any fans out at Hammers, because we got so many people out there, or any of the races that, fans screaming at you as you go by, you're like, hey, wait, I missed my rock.
Yeah, I see that all the time. I remember racing at Parker one time or whatever. The Tube Art was out there, and he had a girl out there with her top off, and they said I was the only one that stopped. I was like,
see, there it is.
You know what I mean?
He just had to think about it for a minute. But it was
there's so much more. I remember I've been mooned. I've seen everything there is to see. Sometimes there's stuff you don't even want to tell people what you see. You're like,
some you got to scrub the memory from.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see it.
Well, let's hope none of that happens here. You just have a nice, smooth race on race day, right?
That's right.
All right. Shannon, thank you very much for stopping by and joining us. Shannon Campbell here with us in Disney, Oklahoma. We're going to be right back. More superstars from the sport joining us here on the stage. Speed Sport live from Disney, Oklahoma, and Legends of the Fall.
Affordable EFI is in sight now with Sniper EFI from Holley. Easy to install, self-tunes, and replaces most 4-barrel carbs. Forget cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, and flooding. Get big performance starting at just $999.95. Sniper EFI.
Eliminate burnt plug wires forever with Excel Ceramic Spark Plug Wires. High-temperature double silicone construction makes them ideal for turbocharged and supercharged engines or any car with headers. Find a set for your application today at excel-ignition.com.
We are back here in Disney, Oklahoma. Look at the beautiful scenery, and then look at this amazing Ford Bronco just ripping right through it with Brad Lovell behind the wheel, just terrorizing everything in its path. Now, I got to tell you, Brad, as I was driving around here in Disney, I saw a 6-wheel Ford Bronco, and I thought that was pretty cool. This new Bronco is amazing. The one you have might be the coolest one here.
Well, it's got a little history behind it. The Bronco that we're running, we worked with Ford to develop these 4600 Broncos. So ours is actually what's called a DCV, which is the earliest form of prototype, which, hey, that's really cool, but it also kind of makes it a little miserable to work on because it might not share all the same parts.
Yeah, I bet.
But, this one was delivered in July of 2020, as I recall, to start getting built. So we worked through the development process with Ford on this one, proved everything out, and then the other 2 Broncos are carbon copies off of what we finished with.
The Bronco I'm looking for is the one that's called In Ralph's Garage.
In Ralph's Garage, exactly.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
Hey, I'll take one in Dave's garage also.
Yeah. What's the best thing about the Bronco as a race vehicle?
Wow, I really think it's the suspension architecture. Me being a racer, I have about 15, 20 years, something of race history, and I was honored to work with Ford in the development of the Bronco itself. So I kept hammering on them. It needs more horsepower. It needs bigger tires. It needs better shocks. And you know what? They listened. Yeah, and that's really what's made the Bronco what it is today.
Rare that they actually pay attention sometimes, huh?
Yeah, but, what a great team that Ford has had behind the development of the Bronco and the continued development of the Bronco. So those guys, we spent years in the desert, and now they're off-roading fanatics. So they're going out and doing their own trips in Broncos and Moab and all the different places I love.
Hey, years ago they listened to a guy named Shelby and it paid off.
Yeah, that's right, for sure. And you know what's really cool? If I watched the desert program, I know Kurt Leduc was involved, Cameron Steele. I know Shelby Hall, who was the granddaughter of Rod Hall. Well, the amazing thing is okay, they took that platform, then they come to you guys, all right, we want to just step this level up one more. And that's what I see. Now you see like the Bronco Raptor that's coming out, but a little bit different, though, from what you were seeing like in the 4400s. You got a 4600. You're taking a stock, basically, powered unit with the stock style suspension, the setup. So it's pretty much what you can get from the dealership with a few safety modifications and come out and run something like this.
So, what's interesting is 2 years now we've run a bone stock Bronco in the Nora 1000.
Yep.
So literally all we're doing is adding a roll cage to it, and we put a second spare tire in it. And 2 years we've run that. We've had no downtime on the clock, and it's engineers racing it. So I ran in conjunction with the engineers, and that is what they want to do, is a prove-out process for the Bronco. And it's not like we're running around in the back of the field either. Twice we've gotten third place in the pre-runner class. So, to me, that really validates what's going on. And how are we beating those guys? Because we're not stopping. We're not breaking the car.
That's the key.
There's not a lot of areas in motorsports these days where winning on Sunday still translates to selling on Monday. But in off-road racing, that can really play out. And what you're talking about is exactly that.
For sure. We just got to get enough Broncos on lots so we can sell them on Monday.
Yeah, right.
And when they do show up, they're gone. There's I believe a 9-month wait on some of them, and these orders are in. They're just cranking them out left and right.
And I was first in line to get one, and I got one, and I love it, and I take it out, and we're looking to buy a second one. But yeah, there still is a wait, and it's kind of the reality of the world these days. Yeah. But I can tell you nobody's working harder than Ford to get them cranked out, because that's how they make money.
It's a hot commodity, that's for sure.
Yeah, good problem to have in some ways, right?
Right.
So, Brad, here you are. You qualified earlier today. How did it go, and what are you looking forward to on race day?
Well, we're really excited that we qualified on the pole. It's it's points that we need, but it's going to give us the lead out front, obviously, so we're not going to be getting water on us from cars in front of us or looking at making passes till a few laps in. So that's great. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything for us for the points battle that we're doing, because whoever wins this race between the three Broncos is going to take home that championship. So we've done the math, and that's about what it sizes up to. So it all comes down to this race.
So as you think about that, how are you preparing for that?
Well, it's a lot of pressure, and we've been through everything we can on the truck. My two sons are out here being wrenches on it, and one of them's going to ride with me. So we've gone through everything we can as far as a prep standpoint, making sure we don't have any issues with it. And then we got to go out there and be smart. We're running absolutely as hard as we can in qualifying, but it's going to be probably an hour and 50-minute race, if I guess, and we got to slow down enough to make it live.
Well, I got to say it's going to be interesting because, like you said, you qualified first. And that's so important because when you're deep in the field, you can have problems with people in front of you that roll, make a mistake. On top of you mentioning the water, getting on some of these rock faces, making it a little more slippery. In your mind, because you have a 5-mile loop, you got to do this loop a couple times here. How does the race course start to deteriorate, or does it get better, or does it get worse as things get moved around, rocks, boulders move, water gets splashed up on things?
That's an interesting question because I think this course is going to hold together really well. A lot of times we see chatter bumps, big ruts, rocks get kicked out, like you say, but we didn't see a lot of that in qualifying. So there are some sandy ruts. I don't see that giving us that big of a problem, but I can guarantee you when the big boys get out here in the 4400s that they're going to uproot some of these boulders that we can't.
Chewing up everything, right?
Yeah.
Chew it up, spit it out.
Breaking bumps, chatter bumps, all kinds of fun stuff.
So as Dave has pointed out in numerous pieces on the show already this weekend, there's a little bit of everything out here. There's some crazy hills you got to go up and down, water you got to deal with, all sorts of terrain. As you think about the Bronco, is there one part of the course where it really excels?
Boy, I think...
I know it's good everywhere, but when you come up to something, you go, oh, I got this.
So there's a rock garden kind of out behind us here where it's just, big boulders that we're going across, and I really think the IFS and the underbody clearance are really paying off there because we can take lines, we have enough underbody clearance to get over it, and the IFS suspension is really impressive on that type of terrain.
In Supercross and motocross, you have a whoop section, right? Very similar to what you would consider a rock garden maybe in an off-road course. So in that form of two-wheel competition, you can do one of two things. You can either jump through or you can just get up on top and skim across, right? Buzz them. How would you approach a rock garden?
So we're somewhere in between. We can get on top of the little stuff, but the big stuff is just too big. And I know because I tried in pre-running. And we actually knocked the grill off the front of it because we had a pretty big impact. So we're gonna keep it cool, but we're also going to be working on timing splits and make sure if we can get out front of the field and just pace them, then that's what we'll do.
For those that maybe have never been to an off-road race that are watching from home, how big a boulder are we talking about? Are we talking Volkswagen Beetle sized or
house? Yeah, they definitely. So the rocks out there are getting as big as Volkswagen Beetles for sure, and we're having to sneak our way through there. The one big point on course that I think is critical is Little Blue out there, I believe it's called, but you're dropping sideways off a cliff. And so there's some rock crawling coming into that, and then you're going sideways down an undercut cliff. So obviously we don't want to roll or have any events happen on that.
All right, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. And, there's so many, things you can contend with the boulders. But, I know it's the Ford Rock Garden, I believe.
It sounds apropos. It might be. I don't know the name.
Yeah, and what Yeah, and also, we want to know your impressions of being in Disney, Oklahoma, being the first time in here, and Mid-America Outdoors here, too.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We come from Colorado, so it's nice to have something relatively close to home where we're not driving out to the West Coast all the time. And Disney, I've never been to before. I've seen it all, all this great off-roading online out here. And what amazes me is how unique it is. All this embedded rock, that's really unique for this area.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
They got a lot of different features they're putting together from a course standpoint that makes it a great time out here.
It's kind of like a off-road Disneyland.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, listen, when you get back and you start talking to those guys at Ford, don't forget your old buddies.
Yeah, fair enough.
I got room in my garage. Just saying.
All right, we got a lot more coming your way from here in Disney, Oklahoma. More drivers just waiting off camera here to join us. We're going to have a lot more fun from here at Legends of the Fall. Stay with us on speedsport.tv.
Affordable EFI is in sight now with Sniper EFI from Holley. Easy to install, self-tunes, and replaces most 4-barrel carbs. Forget cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, and flooding. Get big performance starting at just $999.95. Sniper EFI.
Burn plug wires forever with Excel Ceramic Spark Plug Wires. High-temperature double silicone construction makes them ideal for turbocharged and supercharged engines or any car with headers. Find a set for your application today at excel-ignition.com.
Hey, if you want to go fast through all this stuff, you better have some sticky tires like the ones you can find at USD Sticky Tire. And call our buddy Chris Branton up over there, who's joining us here on set now. He's the guy behind USD Sticky Tire, and he's the guy that gave me an amazing ride around this facility earlier in the weekend. We're going to show you that coming up here in a little bit. He's also the birthday guy here this weekend. Happy birthday. What is it, 21?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Go with that one.
Exactly.
And more importantly, you're the pole sitter for the big race.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and that
sir.
happened this afternoon. Tell us about the run.
Oh, I watched a couple people right in front of me run, and drag race basically is how they got it set up. So I picked out as far as I could see the straight line run, and hit it as hard as I could. I came in there at the last where you have the dip right at the water, the creek, and I realized at the last second that was coming in a little hotter than I really intended to be. So as soon as I hit the brake, I realized it was too late, so just right back in the throttle and
full commitment.
Yeah, tried to give you guys something to look at.
Yeah.
But
that was amazing.
Right as I took the last kick, all I could see was the arch, the wooden arch that they had that I thought I was fixing to take out, and it was luckily I didn't hit it, but I guarantee you it was within inches.
That's amazing.
No, it was really surprising. It felt fast, but I had no idea, where I was going to be until I got back here.
Tires are all a part of motorsports, no matter what you're doing. Talk a little bit about what makes a good off-road tire these days. You were describing it to me about how you work on the stickiness of the tire, but it's got to survive.
Right. So, the thing that a couple years ago when we decided to go into the tire business, and it was really about tread design and the compound of the tire. So, the carcass, we have we stayed thick in the sidewalls for protection from the rocks, and then I came up with the best tread design that I felt would benefit for what we do, and so far it's been really well.
Well, and especially with all these rocks out here, they're very sharp, they're very jagged. So the thicker, wall. Is there a Kevlar base in there? Is it a polyfiber?
We have those options. Yes. Yeah. So the tires on the sidewall, I've got a box tread design on the sidewall that gives extra protection, and then the top is about 1.25 inch lug. So it's really beefy, and so and a lot of people have told me, oh, they weigh so much. No, they don't. They're a few pounds heavier than the competition, but at the same time, you've got the sidewall protection that's what it's giving you. So we've had less flats, no tires perfect. So you can't run it hard and not expect a problem from time to time. But we have had really good luck. The tires hold up well, and I think it's showing.
You got to give to get, right? You got to give a little weight to get protection. And I'd like how you were showing me the box lug on the sidewall. You don't see that in any other form of motorsport.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
and I've been around a lot of off-road.
It's a unique design, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it really works. Okay, so you've got a wide variety of terrain here in Disney, Oklahoma to deal with. How do you design a tire that works in all of it to give that get?
I guess that's a really good question because, I think I focused on grip in the dirt and sticky compound for the rocks. So with a little bit extra depth of tread, we get the grip in the loose dirt and the loose rock, and then with the sticky compound, it gives you that bite more on the flat rock. So that's putting when you get to like a flat slab or flat rock, it's about the stickiness of the compound and how much rubber you have in contact with the rock.
And when you say flat rock, for those at home that don't know what you're talking about, flat doesn't mean flat like a table. It means smooth flat because you might be going up.
And smooth flat is straight, like, straight up wall.
Yeah.
And so the compound itself sticks, and you won't tread contact to that wall. So
how different is the design thought as far as going up the wall or coming down the wall? Because you got to do both.
Right. If you've got it going up, there should be no problem coming down.
Okay.
Now, what about when you throw water into it with the stick? When you throw the water, is there something you take into account too, or is there certain compounds that you can work better on a wet surface? I know there's rain tires, dry tires, and other types of racing.
Yes, sir. So every tire maker, rubber is like cake mix. Everybody can mix it differently. So there's a ton of different rubber compounds out there. So you just got to find the one that you like
Find
the best.
that happy medium.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So we talked about some of our other guests earlier today are starting maybe 6 back, like Shannon I think was talking about. You're starting on the pole. How do you approach starting from the pole differently than even just a couple of spots back?
Well, it's for myself. I have to say this is my first pole setter, so it's a hard question to answer right at the moment. But to me, I had the question asked me: are you going to take off like you did in the race, or are you going to take off in the race like you did at the pole? No. So the question of that is yes and no. We're going to take off hard, but when you get to those rock ledges and when you get to the waterfall, or I say the creek where we went through the bottom, you're going to check up a little bit more. I mean, you don't want to kill your car in the first quarter mile. So, this is a long race, hour and a half. There's a lot of things that can happen. So you want to keep a good pace, but you've got to protect the drivetrain.
Well, one of the things that I see down in Baja quite a bit, water crossings, alternators, electricity, water. Is that something that's going through your mind? Because this is an unlimited class, the 4400s you're in. It's not all sealed up like you would in a stock Broncos we're seeing out there. Yours more of an open, the motor area. Do you have to worry about that with alternator or your electrical? There's certain seals that you do. So I know the front of the alternator, you got to have air going through there.
Right.
So if water gets in there, electricity and water doesn't mix sometimes. Is that in your head on these water crossings?
Yes, that goes back to the wiring of the car, and so we do try to seal everything. And Dave Doremus with D-Bomb Tuning has done the wiring on my car. He's done a phenomenal job. We do put extra effort into sealing the harnesses and to keep everything watertight. The air breather, I do have a rear engine car, so as taking water up front is not as big a concern for me. So if I'm getting drenched, I know the motor behind me is possibly getting drenched.
Okay.
So we're in front of the air breather. So.
Well, with like the 4400, you can have front or rear, whatever. I know, like the Legends, it's a front engine. Yours, it's an option. To you, did you run a front engine in the past? Did you feel that the rear was a little bit better?
No.
For weight distribution?
This is so I've been running this car for right at 2 years now, and this is my first 4400 car. So I really can't give you an opinion of running in the front. But for me, I really do like the rear engine setup. It's we've got the shocks and everything tuned in right, and so far, like last year to this year, we've made a lot of changes, and it really is coming together.
And it's a custom chrome moly frame that did you design, or did you buy it from somebody,
no,
or anything like that?
The frame is a Jimmy's 4x4 chassis from Randy Rod, and the motor LSX 427.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's got a little power.
She crack open a little bit.
She will, and so. Maximum Transmission, Chris Gardner, he builds my transmissions, and then Ryan Webb with Kryptonite Customs, he puts it all together. So Jason Hess with Liquid Moly, man, you can't beat that product, and we use that in from the front bumper to the rear is Liquid Moly.
You and I were talking 2 days ago about the competitors in the category and how the budgets are all over the board, from just inside of $1 million down to maybe low six figures. How is that going to play out on race day? Is it automatically in this category most money wins?
Absolutely not in my opinion. It's about the quality of the build, and obviously you can put a lot of quality with money, don't get me wrong, but it's the attention to detail. So you got to surround yourself with a good team of people, electrical, drivetrain, motor, frame, and I think a lot of it has to do with the people you trust to help you with your car. Obviously, you can't do it all yourself when you start competing in a class like we're in. It takes a team effort, and to my opinion, a good team can compete with a good, you don't have to have the $1 million to $2 million budget you just need a really good team and people that get along and enjoy the sport.
Obviously, this is going to be a special weekend for you with first pole, as you said, in competition. But what is your overall impression of what we have here in Disney, Oklahoma, and at Mid-America Outdoors?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. This place is the good Lord designed Disney, Oklahoma for rock crawling. And it's an amazing place. If you go over to Viagra Hill and you see it on camera, but until you walk up to it and you look up it, you don't really quite realize, or you get the grasp of how steep it is and what it takes to go up it. And so Mid-America, what they've done and where they're headed, I think it's absolutely amazing, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Well, thank you very much for taking me and my daughter for the ride the other day around here to see the terrain. We're going to show it to you right now as we went adventuring around here with our pole sitter here. JT, we're out here at the waterfall. What are the drivers trying to accomplish here?
So it's a really big step that they have to get up, and it's got water flowing down it, and it's a double ledge, so you got to pick your line and not break your car and not roll over. So it's a challenge.
On a difficulty level, what would you rate this at?
9.5.
Ooh, it's going to be fun to watch this. JT, you guys call this Little Blue, but to me it looks like big options.
There's a lot of options in this little canyon. There's multiple drops. You can run right down the middle, but it's a knuckle ripper offer, so it's tough.
And you really don't care which way they come through, they just got to come down through it?
No, I want to give them options because I don't want it to be a bottleneck. If somebody has a problem or turns turtle, has a gravity issue, I want people to be able to keep racing.
It's going to be a challenging area, so we've been ranking all of these. What's the difficulty here?
It's about an 8.
Well, you don't give these guys a break anywhere, do you?
It's kind of flat by the start-finish line.
I love it. Well, JT, I've been in Lazy Boys that didn't kick back this far. This is what you guys call Viagra, and we're going to race up and or down this depending on the category you're in this weekend, correct?
Yes, sir. The rock bouncers are going to race up it, and then 44, 48, and 45 are racing down it, and it's a challenge either way.
Okay, so we're doing the scale of difficulty. Where would you rate this one?
Coming down, it's about a 7. It's just the mental factor. It's intimidating.
I can tell you just from sitting here, the intimidation factor is about a 15. Well, that was JT, the race director, with us, and in that video, you get a good look at those side blocks on the sidewall of your tires. Thanks again. Happy birthday. Best of luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you,
Check
guys.
out USD Sticky Tires if you need some good tires for your off-road vehicle.
Chris,
Thank you, guys.
Good
Truly
luck.
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you soon. And stay with us because we're not done yet. We got one more segment to go here in Disney, Oklahoma, and another driver just waiting to hit the stage after this.
Affordable EFI is in sight now with Sniper EFI from Holley. Easy to install, self-tunes, and replaces most 4-barrel carbs. Forget cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, and flooding. Get big performance starting at just $999.95. Sniper EFI.
My name is Tim Hooper. I drive the Fuelworks 1505 Ultra 4 kart, and we're going to be racing this weekend, Halloween weekend, at Legends of the Fall in Disney, Oklahoma. This is our national championship, so all the big boys from Ultra 4 will be there, and I think it's going to be crazy because Disney's just a weird place. It's basically used to be a lake, and now it's not, and it's just crazy rocks and crazy ledges. There's woods, there's Go Fast. I think JT and the crew at Mid-America is going to put on a heck of a course. We're going to get back to some rock crawling, I believe, so I'm kind of excited about that. So the 4400, it's unlimited. This is a solid axle car. This is a Trimp Fab top shelf chassis. We got a Thompson Motorsports 427. So she's a little rowdy. I'm probably the lowest horsepower of my class, and I'm running about 750. Most guys are running 800 to 1,000, and you put that much horsepower with 40-inch tires chewing up, you can't see in front of your face. Basically, you look for shadows of trees and just try to dodge them. And I'm not very good at that because I ran out of talent at Visions and hit a tree. And so this car 2 weeks ago was basically a bared chassis on a frame table getting straightened all back out. So, rumor has it we're going to be racing through the water. So I'm a little concerned about that because my intake is up front. So as soon as I hit water fast and it comes over, I'm a little worried about that. We've been talking about, we've kind of got an idea about redoing the inside cab of the chassis. So basically what you do is you just take your intake and you flip it around. It's not just about the racing, Sure, we show up, we have a very strict safety and technical, as far as keeping the drivers safe and everybody safe. And we race hard, but the cool thing about it is usually after the race, it's pretty much done. You get up the next morning, you pack up and you go to the house. They've kind of they've got a whole experience. You come into the track, there's literally stuff to do throughout. I mean, half the time I wish I wasn't racing just so I could go enjoy it more, But you get through the race, you take the race suit off, the helmet off, and hopefully jump in a shower and get cleaned up, and then, the next thing you know, you've got all your family there, you got your kids there, you've got all the racers there, all the fans there that's coming, and you get to hang out, talk to people, put the kids to bed, and then, you got a concert at night, and, you and the wife can go cut loose a little bit. And it's just, there's just not any place in the country that I've ever been to like that. They put as much emphasis on entertainment and given everybody that pays the entry fee, they want to make sure they get value for that money, and they bring it in spades. It's just a very unique place. So I'm looking forward to Casey Donahue. He's playing Friday night. Me and the wife's from Texas, so we've seen Casey several times, and so we're looking forward to that. And we've actually went to his concerts before. So, hey, Casey Donahue, a little Friday night, after qualifying and race the next day. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? I mean, that's just a good time. Once again, Tim Hooper, thank you for watching this. And be sure to check out Fuelworks LLC for the gas cans, Fuelworks Racing for the racing. And make sure you follow Mid-America Outdoors and Ultra 4 USA on Facebook and Instagram, because there are some very exciting announcements coming. As always, you can watch us live, Ultra 4 USA or Mid-America Outdoors. Click on live stream, and you can watch qualifying, the races. They'll have all kinds of stuff on their live stream. They do an excellent job of that. So you can sit on your couch and cheer us on. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Speed Sport, live from here at Legends of the Fall in Disney, Oklahoma. Tim Cameron joins us now on the set here with Dave Arnold. Tim's been a busy guy already today. You've been grabbing a lot of checker flags this morning.
Hey, you've been doing best I can, but we started racing, last night. It got dark on us and tried to push and do best I can. And I was at take W last night in the UTV class and the bouncer class, and we come back out this morning and for our, second hill for the weekend and everything, and I won both of those, so I'm doing good for the points this weekend so far.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, like you said, you've been running in the rock racing bouncer category.
Yep.
How is that in a UTV?
It's fun, but it's rough, of course. And, of course, we do nothing like the Ultra 4. It's nowhere near as long. Most of our stuff is 50 seconds to a minute and a half. But to make it live, especially on a weekend like Legends of the Fall, like for our finals, we got four hills, and just like Nasty Girl back here, that's a pretty wild, crazy, steep hill for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you folks can see it from our camera shot,
Yeah.
but literally right over our shoulder is what is called Nasty Girl. It's in all the trees back here, and it looks like a double black diamond ski run going straight up the ridge over there.
Yeah, with a cornice on top.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like
you
really
get-
straight up.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's even got a little pitch back angle.
That's right. Yeah, the last, probably last 45, 50 foot of that hill is just about straight up and down. It's probably about 75, 80 degrees. It's legit. And plus, it's about 600 foot long. And
600 feet
Yes, sir.
from the bottom to the top.
Yep.
And of course, it's lined with trees, and it's like going through a tunnel.
Oh, yes.
So no light comes in through there.
No, it's like a half bowl, kind of like a skateboarding half ball. And you get to the top, it's like a 6 foot ledge. So that kills your momentum. Most of us try to sidestep around the side, but it's a good hill for sure.
You don't want to grind your axles on that like you would on a skateboard.
No, that's exactly right.
So, 600 feet's a long way up.
Yes, sir.
And a long way
Ways down, a long way
so
down.
you get up there and things go wrong, that's going to be a bit of a tumble.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, there's been guys get up there and turn their side. Luckily, it's so loose and it's like probably 20 inches of little gravel up there pretty much. A lot of times they'll turn over and they'll hit and they'll slide. But I've never seen no one come all the way to the bottom, but that'd be a rough ride for sure.
So talk a little bit about the safety equipment in your vehicle, because you got to prepare for that. That's a possibility.
Oh, yeah, most certainly. So full-blown 5-point harness, harness device, of course, full-face helmet, and I run suppression system in case something never know what may happen with fires, but, of course, full safety gear, 2-layer fire suit, fire shoes, gloves, but, best thing is try to be safe as you can in case something does happen. You try to come out best you can. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Obviously you have to hammer it to get all the way up there. What else are you doing inside the cockpit as you're navigating your way up?
Well, when we're hitting the hill like that, it's probably 55, 60 mile an hour. We're trying to maintain your momentum to the top. But when you get all the way to the top, there's a couple different lines, and maybe grabbing a rear steer, trying to move over, or making last-minute split decisions.
Now, that's something a little bit different. You talked about the rear steer. We're not going to see that in any other classes other than you guys, because you got to kind of crab crawl sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, like you never know. Like, of course, most of our stuff's done got somewhat fast pace, so a lot of the rear steers to make a real sharp turn, or if you get out of shape on something real steep, turn in, like if you're rolling to your left, turn the rear to your left to kind of bring it back around to try to maintain moving forward.
That's something very interesting. Is it a joystick that you're moving
Yes,
in there?
it is. Yep.
Okay.
It's a stationary stick where you can actually support your body with it. And it's got a left and right toggle on top.
Now, does it recenter itself when you release?
It's got a button in the center, like a trigger button, to center it back up.
Very interesting.
As extreme as this form of motorsport is, we were talking about a little bit yesterday. How did you get started in this? Because where do you find a nasty girl in your neighborhood to go practice?
That's exactly right. So I'm 36 now. I started messing with it. I was about 14 and 15. Of course, back then it wasn't much racing involved. It was more go out and have fun with your buddies. And we was climbing some wild things. But when I was about 20 years old, 22, is when I got into the racing side of it, and it got more extreme. And I guess I got, like most of us all, got bit by the racing bug, And we used to go ride with some buddies around the house, climbing real cool, funny, wild stuff. And then the UTVs came out, and that opened up a whole another ball game, because it kind of started out in ATVs, like a racing four-wheeler or whatever, climbing steep walls and stuff. But once the UTVs come out, some of the roll cage, and that took it to a whole nother level.
I was going to say, it's a little bit nicer.
Yep.
They always say, with age comes the cage.
100%. That is exactly right.
So if I'm sitting at home right now watching here on Speedsport.tv, and I'm thinking, I don't want to try Nasty Girl, but I want to get started with this deal. Is Disney, Oklahoma, and Mid-America Outdoors a good place to come for your first adventure?
Yeah, 100%. Now, I will say, like, the Viagra Hill and Cialis that we climbed last night, they're pretty rough. It's that our hill 2 last night. Me and that boy that climbed it, only 2 buggies ever up that side. So it's pretty legit. But hey, we got roll cages, we got full safety gear, so just come out and have a good time.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Best of luck to you. Go get some more checkered flags,
I do.
right?
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate
couple
y'all.
more out there for him to go after.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have Nasty Girl for you live on Saturday night from here, too, so you're not going to want to miss that here on SpeedSport.tv.
Affordable EFI is in sight now with Sniper EFI from Holley. Easy to install, self-tunes, and replaces most 4-barrel carbs. Forget cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, and flooding. Get big performance starting at just $999.95. Sniper EFI.
Mid-America Outdoors is staying true to making this a family-friendly and focused destination with tonight's Crawloween festivities and Black Party right here in the heart of Disney. There's going to be music, entertainment, costume contest, a spooky trail, and more, all on top of today's racing action.
Thank you, Erica. Hi, everybody. Welcome back here. Disney, Oklahoma. Ralph Shaheen, Dave Arnold on the bookends over here. Lauren Healy snuck here into the middle. You are everywhere these days in off-road racing, the whole Fun Haver group. You guys are getting crazy, you and Vaughn Gittin, the whole gang over there. Tell me a little bit about that and how that all came together.
Yeah, I mean, Vaughn and I have been good friends for a long time. When he came out to race Ultra 4 and King of the Hammers about 2015, Nitto Tire, which was one of our mutual partners, at the time and still is, and They brought Vaughn out, but he had no rock crawling experience, and so they asked me if I would spend a few minutes, show Vaughn how to shift a truck into low range, and he had no idea. And we took him out on this waterfall, and I'm like, all right, here's what you're gonna do: you can shift to low range and climb up this. And he's like, ha, that's the rookie joke. Like, surely we can't climb that. And I'm like, no, man, like this is what we're gonna do. This is what you're gonna be doing all day long at King of the Hammers. And so he did, and he climbed up it real easy, and like the light went off in his head, but we just had that mutual connection and maintained a friendship. And then as he wanted to get more involved with Ultra 4, and Ford was launching the Bronco, and he is a longtime Ford athlete, and they wanted this cohesive team, and so we just kept working together. And then he wanted us to run his program. That first year went great. He really excelled with it, and so we just ended up taking over and creating the Fun Haver off-road team. We're business partners. We're launching a whole parts line around Ford Broncos. It's a great relationship.
Speaking of launching, let's talk about something you haven't talked about probably at all since Hammers back at the beginning of the year. It is one of the most amazing moments I've seen in motorsports, not just this year, but in a long time.
It went viral.
When I talk about sending it, buddy, you put the definition into the book. Lauren at Hammers this year on a qualifying day, wasn't even going for the checkered flag. You sent your Bronco like into space. Had you planned that out?
I had. So what a lot of people don't know is that was
You're
one of the
insane.
lines on the qualifying course, and we ran that about 3 or 4 years ago. But when we did it last time, it was about a 10-second advantage to do that drop. Well, this time it was probably only 3 or 4 seconds, but I was told that it was going to be a 10-second advantage again. So we only got to pre-run in the dark this year, and I didn't actually ever run the other line. I did that about 5 times in the dark. I'm like, yeah, that's my line. That's how I'm running it. And so I watch and qualifying. I'm like, why is nobody else doing that? Well, I never ran the other line. Oh, that's all I know. So I was like, well, I'm doing it. But that new truck that I was racing there, it's fully independent. It's got live valve Fox shocks on it, so it can handle a little bit extra of that abuse type stuff. It's got portals on all 4 corners, and it can take some extra abuse like that. And so I was like, oh, I'm sticking with my line, and it worked out awesome. I had a great qualifying time. But like you said, that video was almost better than winning the race. Like, it put me out there everywhere.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's insane. And I mean, from those moments there, and I know that you and Vaughn put out so many videos. I just watched the Halloween one. What an insane, over the pool, in through the fence, you hit the target.
Right. Yeah, we've kind of made a habit of me crashing through stuff. You know, we did an old video milk run back in the day where I went through my garage door. We did a bomb track video 2 years ago where I went through like a big old farm gate. And so usually we try to, give a little bit of a throwback to those videos and find something for me to crash through.
If you're going to have a name like Fun Haver, you got to
exactly.
you got to do some
fun.
crazy things. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
talk about the race weekend here. What are you expecting in Disney?
So, it's awesome. So there's never been an endurance race here in Disney before. They've done some rock bouncing and some stuff like that. But this is completely new to Ultra 4. This kind of river valley that we're running on is real hard granite. There's clear water running the whole time. So trying to deal with the water, in your air filters, in your electronics, that kind of stuff is really going to play into it. And then the rocks are really sharp. So taking care of your tires is going to be really, really tough. For an hour-and-a-half long race, I really am expecting some serious attrition because you get a flat tire, you get an electronic bobble, something like that. It's going to be hard to make that time up. So, I really want to see how the race develops. Qualifying was also crazy today. A 20-second qualifying time. I don't think we've ever had that short of a qualifying. So, some new cool ideas, some new fresh stuff. But, the people here in Disney, Oklahoma are so awesome. And, I'm pumped to be here. The atmosphere is awesome. Everything's really cool.
Well, here's your truck right here on video that we're watching. So we saw what you did in Hammers. This is qualifying earlier today. Where are you going to, quote-unquote, send it here in Disney?
Oh, man. There's all these rock shelves. You'll see here just in a second. And I was being a little bit gentle right here through this rock section that I probably could have been a little bit hotter through, but I don't know. I wasn't really looking to take a big risk in qualifying where it was a second or two that was really going to divide everybody.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, I was going to say, you talked about the granite, but there's a lot of limestone. And those are like striations that are very sharp. What about sidewalls, getting close to the rocks? You picking your lines just to stay away from that stuff or what?
Oh, so my plan is always to try to have tire contact. So sliding, sidewall contact, that's what you're trying to get away from.
Yep.
Pinch flats that'll pinch a tire between the wheel. So my goal is always to hit everything as square as possible and not have the sidewall vulnerable.
Okay, so 2022 is almost done. What do you got coming in 23?
Oh, man. It's not even close to done for me. So we fly straight to SEMA tomorrow.
Big reveal?
What's that?
A big reveal at SEMA?
We do. We've
been hearing rumors about that.
We built a wild Bronco. It's super cool. Everybody come check that out.
Let's just tell everybody now what you're doing.
I've teased about it a little bit. It's a wild Bronco on 42-inch Nitto K-specs. It's got a long travel suspension, full fabricated axles underneath it. It's portals. It's almost an Ultra 4 truck under a Bronco. So I'm really excited to debut that at SEMA. 9 a.m. it gets unveiled at the Project X booth. And then we're out there doing demos the whole week out in the Optima racing area. So Vaughn, Chelsea, LZ, they'll all be in the Mustangs. I'll be out there in the Ultra 4 trucks, jumping over them, drifting, which everybody loves seeing the Ultra 4 truck drift. And yeah, it's wild. And then we got another big announcement about racing Baja soon. So I
look forward to it.
Yeah, man,
we got to go get some Fun Haver shirts before we're done here this week.
Right.
Hey, we're all done here. 4600 race coming up right now.
See you guys. Thank you.
Welcome back to the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall. We just saw Brad Lovell and Vaughn Gittin Jr. and those Broncos taking off. The Speed Sport Show is absolutely awesome, and this is going to be one heck of a race. This is the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. Up next is Bailey Cole and Albert Contreras.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be back out here, Mars. We saw a fantastic qualifying session earlier today.
And look at Bailey Cole get around Contreras early. They are going to bypass the waterfall and not come down Viagra. So their first main little trail is going to be coming down the Rigid Ridge back there at Little Blue.
It is indeed. Bailey is the third of the Broncos out there on course at the moment. And these Broncos are so dominant in this class this season.
And off the line next is Kendall Glines and John Schaefer. A couple Jeeps out there running strong. We are still back on with number 13, Bailey Cole.
Indeed, we've got a 5-mile loop out there today. They're going to be doing an hour and a half of racing plus 1 lap. So as soon as that lead car comes around close to the hour and a half, they're going to be given the white flag, and we are going to be looking for the finish of the race.
John Schaefer gets around Kendall Glines there early as they're getting ready to cross right where the qualifying loop was earlier. They're taking a couple different lines through here. I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, now this course is actually quite wide. Now most of this course is marked with what we call central markers. That means there is a central post in the course and that you have to be within 50 feet of it either side.
So it's 100 feet wide all together.
Exactly that. It's a 100-foot wide course, but now there's multiple option lines. As we watch John Schaefer there making his way down, he's just about to come to one of those multiple line points, and he can choose where he wants to go. Does he want to go wet? Does he want to go smooth? There's so many different lines, and that's why pre-running on this course is so important.
And on the screen right there is Alex Fleming and Tom Biddle. They just took off. They're getting ready to cross where that qualifying loop was just a moment ago. And right behind them, it is Mick Henson and Jeremy Purick.
Yeah, 2 cars leaving the line every 30 seconds here at Legends of the Fall. And very soon we're going to have a full class of 4,600 cars out on course.
And remember, this race is on adjusted time. They're taking off every 30 seconds, so it's going to be a little bit of a play at the end to see who's actually out front. But we'll have this live timing.
We're watching more cars there. They're starting to pick their way through. And the thing with this course is it doesn't look very rutted. The rocks don't look very big from this angle, but when you're actually in those vehicles and you're actually driving on this course, it really is brutal.
It's going to be one heck of a race, that is for sure, Jim.
It's our current race leader. That is Brad Lovell making his way down the waterfalls.
And he's taking the inside line on the little Rigid Ridge spot, and right behind him, and another Ford Bronco, Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Indeed. Now, the interesting thing about that is we were looking at some of the 4,400 class drivers the other day, and they were saying, well, we're not sure if we can drive that.
And
we've
now
just seen
a stock class.
Yeah, we're just watching 4,600 class cars literally cutting the corner off on Little Blue.
And this is the 4,600 Spider Track stock class. You have to have a stock OEM chassis, stock transmission and engine, 35-inch DOT tires.
And it's the 35-inch DOT tires that really, really is going to play into this today. Those tires, they're going to take an absolute battering on this really tough course.
So we had Joe Fabrizio and Adam Collin taking off, as well as Mark Zabeth. So we have a full field. We have 13 cars out on course. Mark Zabeth is in the stock sportsman, so he's the only one in his class, but he's going to get out there and have some fun with everybody else.
Just look how clear that water is. Gin clear as the cars pick their way through.
That is Bailey Cole coming back to screen. So they're about the halfway mark through this race. It is just shy of a 5-mile lap for the stock class cars. There's Albert Contreras in the Rigid Little Blue area.
Yeah, Albert, of course, he's got to be very, very careful. He's already run out of tyres just on pre-running and on qualifying. So some friends have lent him some extra tyres, but let's see if he can keep these ones underneath him.
And he's coming through this section, and it's going to be a little bit faster through a little beach section. This course has a little bit of everything. An hour and a half plus 1 lap, just shy of a 5-mile lap. It's going to be one heck of a show. I'm going to guess we're going to be in that 8-ish, maybe 9 laps.
I think probably something around the 7 and 8 laps.
There's John Schaefer and Kendall Glines dropping down the Rigid Ridge.
And you can see they've taken a completely different line, which means that would have cost them 30 to 40 seconds to cross the main gully, make their way back round, and then drop down.
So the Broncos out front are making a pretty quick little action of that and taking their those lines. And like you were saying, we were talking about that in the 4,400 cars, and they were walking the course and worried about it. And now these stock cars, pretty impressive how far they've came.
Yeah, it's always amazing. As soon as you put a race helmet on, though, the world becomes a different place.
And don't forget, we are racing also for the Nitto National Championship. This is going to decide the Nationals, the West, and the East. There's John Schaefer making it through that little whooped-out beach section I was talking about earlier. A really fun little spot with Kendall Glines trying to chase him down.
Yeah, some big holes in this beach section. They've got to be very careful. I was out there in the UTV the day before yesterday, and it's not a case of arrive there, put your foot down and hold it in. You've really got to pick those lines.
And there's a great shot of the Amsoil hot pits. Everybody's ready to work on cars. You can change tires, you can do fuels. You cannot work on the car outside of the pits other than by yourself or with fellow racers.
Absolutely, but just how beautiful is this place?
And at the top left, you can see the two Broncos. It is Brad Level out front and Vaughn Gittin Jr. that just passed the backside of the Amsoil hot pits.
Indeed, and they were just making
Bailey
their
Cole.
way into the Bronco Rocks.
Yep. It's a really nasty section. There's Jeremy Purick and Mick Henson.
This is a great view here. If you actually look on the left-hand side, you can see another car looking to pick his way down through the central portion of Little Blue.
And right where Jeremy Purick is on your left, there's a huge little ditch there, and he picked the wrong line.
Yeah, he did. Now, you've got to be careful here. There's multiple lines. I would have gone slightly further to the left because now he's got to drop down here and he's got to make a tight turn at the bottom. If he'd gone further to the left, it would have been an easier line to drive out of. But hey, what do I know? I'm not driving.
And there's Tom Biddle going down the middle of Little Blue. This is kind of an iconic trail here at Disney, Oklahoma. Mick Henson makes his way through, but if we can turn back around, we'll see the normal spot with Tom Biddle. And he makes his way through, so the two little Toyotas are still making it go.
And as we look back up the track there, those Broncos actually came down the left-hand side, so that would have saved them around about 30 to 40 seconds.
What an awesome race this is. I've been wheeling here for probably 20 years, and I've always wanted to have a big race here, and we are bringing Ultra 4 USA, and there's the Bronco Boulders as we speak with that Bronco driven by Bailey Cole. And at the top right, you can see it looks like Vaughn Gittin coming down the beach section on that far side, and he'll hit a little splash here shortly. So here's a little splash pass. We'll see how hard that is. Brad Level, actually.
Brad Level, yep.
See if he can skim it. See if him and his son got wet or not. Back to Jeremy Purick.
It actually looked like Brad Level there's got a bit of trim hanging off the back of the car.
Couldn't tell if that was a bumper or what it was.
Yeah, I think it's the bumper. I think he had a problem with that during pre-running.
So there's Mr. Rock Crawler suspension himself, Jeremy Purick.
Now, this is a great-looking car, and it sounds fantastic.
Oh, it's got the 392 in it. That thing sings. It's awesome. And there's a beautiful shot of the golf course that's just to the west side of the South Grand Lake recreational area.
Best way to ruin a good walk.
Again, if you are just tuning in, I am Miles Haswis alongside with Jim Marsden, and this is the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall.
And we've got another one of our stock class cars now, picking his way down through Little Blue.
That is Adam Collin.
And here's the last of our starters today. So Adam is making his way through the halfway mark on this course.
And we just got all of our cars out on course, and he is making his way through the Recaro Rocks. Brad Level, our current race leader, is out on course running strong.
Now, Brad's got it all going on at the moment. He's actually going to be flying out of here tomorrow morning to go back to Las Vegas, where he's going to be inducted in the Off-Road Hall of Fame.
How cool is that? He's got his son riding with him today. They fly to Vegas next week, the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. You cannot get any better than that. So he's getting ready to go through our longest water crossing. You'll see a little heads-up loop here. Give our timing a little bit of time to see who's coming through. So that we placed that last night at 9:30 at night. It's been a busy week. Gus and the Mid-America crew and the whole team, Jerm, Martin, Weaver, and Caleb have done a great job, but it's more than just that. It's been a huge amount of people out here. We've got an amazing amount of volunteers putting this through, but Brad Level is about to show us what the fastest lap of the day is going to be right now, and Brad Level's looking good. So, Jim, you got the screen in front of you? What do we got?
I have indeed, Mars. Just waiting for the time to pop up for me right now. It looks like that was just a fraction under 10 minutes. Now, we were talking about this yesterday, saying...
I was guessing 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, but let's not forget, these guys, they haven't done the waterfall. They haven't done Viagra.
Yeah, they get a bypass those.
Yeah, they get bypasses on those. So I think we're still going to be seeing a sort of a 10-minute lap, and we've just seen Vaughn Gittin Jr. crossing the line in second position. But the action now is back here. This is the Bronco Rocks. And just look at how big and gnarly these are. These cars are really having to pick those lines very carefully.
There's Alex Fleming and I believe Kendall Glines.
It looks that way. Now,
John
interestingly,
Williams.
that yellow car in front has IFS front suspension.
Some of our safety crew right
looks
there.
like, I think that's Jason down there.
Yep. Jason McMurray, he's a local here that's helped us out tremendously the last couple weeks. We've got a great list of volunteers out there.
We have.
There's
indeed.
John Schaefer.
There's something so awesome about seeing a Jeep just dragging ass across there. It's fantastic.
It's amazing. John Schaefer is sitting in second place in the Eastern points. He slows way down for that water crossing.
Now, you've got to just make a decision. When you're crossing water like that, are you going to pick your way across it, or are you going to absolutely send it? For
Yeah,
us,
there's a happy medium there.
there isn't. Well, for me, there isn't. If you go too slow, it just comes in anyway.
I guess you're right. Yeah, either blast it or go slow.
Exactly, and it's all about prep. Now, I know the Broncos were concerned that their engine harnesses aren't set up for wet water. It's all water's wet. What am I talking about?
Most of it is,
They're
right?
not talking about. They're not set up for wet weather. So they're concerned that they were going to get water into their electrical systems. Water's in the plugs, and if that happens, they could have electrical breakdowns. And I know that's something they've been working on in the evening.
It's been a great day of qualifying this morning. We just started racing. We want to give a huge shout out to Jason Gala Robinette with the Mid-America crew, all of our volunteers, the Ultra 4 staff, Mid-America crew, media safety, USAC racers, and fans.
Making his way out through the Yukon launch. John Schaefer making it look ever so simple. And then he makes his way around Chips Rock.
He got that nickname from pre-running the other day. He kind of clipped that and caught a tire.
Saw Chip McLaughlin out on course earlier today in the number 4 car.
Number 24 car for this race in memory of Zandy.
Indeed.
As John Schaefer making it through the Recaro Rocks.
We are so privileged to be racing here.
Yeah, this is the first ever Legends of the Fall that is hosted at South Ground Lake Disney Recreation Area. We've collaborated with GRDA and the towns of Disney and Langley, and it's been a great thing, and we love having it here, and that is our race leader.
It is indeed, but this is an awesome view. This is actually the Little Blue here, and he's cutting the corner. Just look at how these Broncos just soak up the terrain.
That is, I did not think that line was going to be that easy, but look at the rear bumper. It's already been ripped off.
He's just giving us a wave there, Miles. That's all it is.
So the rigid Little Blue area is looking fun.
It is, and already Brad's starting to pull a lead over second place. Vaughn Gittin Jr., who's now making his way down Little Blue as well.
Yeah, remember, they started side by side, so he's already got about a 30-second lead on him. Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Eric Davis with Fun Haver Off-Road Team. Back to Alex Fleming. Haven't seen much action in the AMSOIL hot pits. I'm kind of surprised by that. John Williams looks like he's going to try to make a pass on Alex Fleming.
Yeah, it looks like he's made it stick as well. Takes a slightly better line there and pulls ahead. So you're watching the 4600 stock class here at Legends of the Fall in Disney, Oklahoma.
And what a great day it is. It was a little brisk this morning, but it is absolutely gorgeous. We had rain earlier in the week, and it wasn't fun to work in, but it made this course absolutely beautiful.
Now, usually Ultra 4 races don't involve as much water as this, so it's taken a lot of preparation for these vehicles. So they're ready for action. And there is Bailey Cole. Now, this is interesting. Bailey has obviously not got the memo that the other Broncos have got. He's actually gone around the far side of Little Blue.
But hey, that's pre-running.
That is pre-running. And the interesting thing for me about this is that Bailey's bleeding time here, because he actually started only on the second run.
Yeah, 30 seconds behind him.
Exactly. And by taking that other line, he's already lost over a minute, maybe a minute and a half. That's the difference pre-running makes.
Absolutely, yeah. They had all day yesterday to go pre-running, and he's actually taken the safer route. So maybe that's his comfort level for now, and he'll turn it up later on. Time will tell, but Bailey Cole's still putting on a pretty good show.
Yeah.
And right now it is Broncos up front. And there is Ford contingency money on the line for this race and the Nitto National Championship. They're going to give out around $20,000 if the Bronco wins this race, as Albert Contreras does come into the AMSOIL hot pits. For the national winner for both Ford Power Plant and Grill, you get $2,500 for a national winner, and then East or West, you get $10,000 if you're running Ford Performance body and engine. We're back to the Bronco boulders. I believe that's Adam Collin, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's a good call there, Miles.
So I've been looking back at the AMSOIL hot pits, and it looks like Almer Contreras is changing another tire out here. It's pretty tough on him.
It's going to be a battle of attrition out here all weekend. It's going to be certainly very interesting to see which tires come out best on this weekend.
Absolutely. They have been racing all season long, and it's going to come down to this one final race, and we're going to do awards right after this race, and then we'll do awards tomorrow night for the Nationals West and East. This is a double points race.
And this is our current race leader. That is the man himself. That is Mr. Brad Lovell making his way through the Bronco Rocks and making it look ever so easy.
And that AMSOIL machine is making it smooth. I drove my JK through here a week ago, and I went way slower than that. This is extremely, extremely rough out here.
It's one of those things we talk about. It's about that thing called flow. Once you get a flow and a rhythm through the rock sections, you can actually pick up your pace and you can actually stay clean without actually hurting the car. Sometimes it's much safer to do this than it is to actually drive slow.
So if Brad Lovell can continue this pace up, he's going to take home the National and the Western Series championship. How wild would that be? And then tomorrow fly out for the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. Brad Lovell is proving why he's getting nominated for that.
Indeed. He's raced in so many different areas of off-road motorsport, whether it be in short course, whether it be in rock racing, or of course in Ultra 4, where he's been supremely.
There's John Schaefer driving down the rigid Little Blue section. And while we have a lot of action on course, we got to give a huge shout out to Progressive, 4-Wheel Parts, Optima Batteries, Monster Energy, Bronco, Ford, Can-Am,
King Shocks, Laser Nut, Griffin Radiator, VP Racing Fuels, Nitto Tire, Holly EFI, and King of the Hammers.
Wheelin', Baja Jerky, Recaro Seats, and Spider Tracks.
And AMSOIL, Method Race Wheels, Axel RC Cars, and PCI Race Radios.
Off the Grid Clothing, MBRP, Yukon Gear and Axle, HCR, Warren, and Factor 55.
Action Sports Canopies, Tread Lightly, Brannick Motorsports, Rigid, and ARB 4x4 accessories.
So please support who supports the sport. Without all those amazing marketing partners, we would not be racing here for the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall.
And that's Kendall Klein's there picking his way down through Little Blue.
He's got his son riding in there.
Oh, really? That's fantastic.
Awesome. I love the father-son team-ups we have out here.
Yeah. We were actually over at their pit earlier this week, checking them out and seeing how they were getting on.
I believe Brexton Glines is riding shotgun with him, as John Williams. We had a fun little interview with him earlier.
Yep.
And if you're at home, you can have the same timing we have here in the Nitto Lounge, live.ultra4racing.com. You can have the live timing we have up here. What is the fastest lap time out there? Is that sub 10 minute for Brad Lovell, if I'm not mistaken?
Look, that's right. I'm not getting that time split at the moment. I will come back to you with that as soon as I have it.
And please share with everybody. Download the MAO app on Google or Apple. Go to ultra4racing.com/live. Go to the Ultra 4 and MAO Facebook and YouTube. Hit that share button. Start a watch party. This is Ultra 4 Racing at its finest. And there's Sherpa Motorsports, Alex Fleming.
Yeah, Alex Fleming doing a great job here. As I said before, this is the only car in the field, or one of the only cars in the field, with independent front suspension.
And he is sitting in 9th position in the National Championship for the 4600 Spider Track stock class.
And he's heading out onto the beach section now. So this is just like very fine pea shingle, but there are some big holes out there.
There's some big rollers as well.
There is indeed. And you can see the different lines that people are taking. There's lines off to the left, lines off to the right.
There's Mick Henson and Jeremy Purick. That's cool seeing the little Toyota, the old school 22R. He was breaking that engine in last weekend out here. We saw him out here just, he's a local guy out of Tahlequah, and he came out here to kind of do a little test and tune. We bumped into him on the trail. He said he's just breaking in his new engine, and he's got a big V8 breathing down his neck.
He's doing a great job there, staying ahead of Jeremy Purick. We got 13 vehicles racing on course today in the 4600 in the 4600 stock class.
So that's Mark Zabeth that's pulled over. Not sure what's going on. The Z-Man. Hate to see that. There's Travis Cook, one of our volunteers, checking him out, making sure everything is okay. He's the only stock sportsman we have out on course. And Brad Level comes through again with a blistering pace. Back on screen as Jeremy Purick does get around Mick Henson as they're making it into the rigid little blue area.
As you say, pre-running is absolutely everything.
There's a far left lane where they're at. Jeremy Purick earlier took the wrong line, but has it figured out this time as John Schaefer is just on the backside of the AMSOIL hot pits. Getting ready to head into the Bronco Boulders. John Schaefer's physically sitting in second in the Eastern Series. We'll see how that shakes out for him. Remember, this is a double points race, so normally if you win, you get 1,000 points, but now you get 2,000 points. And don't forget, you get 7 points for qualifying. Now you get 14 points.
What are points, mate? Points, mate, prizes.
Absolutely.
As well we know. I do love watching these Toyotas coming down through these lines.
They'll get look at Albert Contreras getting on that little high side. We'll be giving away some Laser Nut trophies here in just a little bit. There's Tom Biddle making it through the Bronco Boulders.
Barely an inch of that truck that hasn't seen action, that's for sure. As we cut back to John Schaefer making his way through the Bronco Rocks.
And I want to give Cody Wagner and LaserNet a huge shout out because they've made their trophies for us the entire season. And you can also order replicas for your sponsors as a team. So let's say you win this race and you want your co-driver or your teammate to have a trophy, you can order a replica.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's something that we do back home as well. Because it is a team sport.
Oh,
and the
absolutely.
team is not just the guys and girls that are with you on the race day. It's often all the people at home that make the magic happen. And that is Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Getting around, is that
Now,
Brad
that's what
Level?
I'm looking at, because Bailey Cole was absolutely miles behind, so I don't believe it can be Bailey, but we'll keep an eye on that battle.
I believe Vaughn Gittin Jr. got away around Brad Level.
But that would be interesting to see, because there was a good sort of 1 minute lead there that Brad had pulled out, so we'll have to keep an eye open on that battle. We've got another car here, slowing on course.
It's Tom Biddle taking a little back up.
Yeah, John Schaefer, I think he might have got caught in the loose stuff, just gone out a little bit wide there, but it helped John Schaefer. He held the door open and John said, thank you very much.
And there's Adam Collins coming into screen. There is some pretty good battles out here on course. I love the 4600 Spider Track stock class. Adam Collins, part of Rock Crawler suspension team. Another new thing we've
look at
oh
this.
yes, it is. That is Vaughn Gittin right in front of Brad Level. So the lead change has happened. We'll see if it sticks.
Now, this is interesting because where did that take place? Brad had a very commanding, at least a 30-second lead over Vaughn. So either Brad's made a mistake or something's happened or he cut a line.
Or Vaughn turned it up.
Now, that is possible. He has the talent to do that.
What a great race we have out front, but it's still anybody's game. Remember, this is an hour-and-a-half race plus 1 lap, so we are just getting into it. We're about 25 minutes into this race, so I'm going to say it's just under a third. As Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Eric Davis blasting through this little pebble section with these huge rollers, and there's Bailey Cole.
It is indeed.
So Broncos 1, 2, and 3 so far, but man, this course is tough. I do think we're going to see some attrition today. Back to Alex Fleming.
Alex doing a completely different approach there as he picks his way through. Slow and steady, sure and certain.
Another something new we're doing for our racers, we have Air Evac live team free of charge for all of our registered racers. So what that means is if you do have an issue, we have a helicopter that'll come get you and take care of you. It's something the Robinettes and Mid-America Outdoors have stepped up this year, and it's just really cool to take care of the racers like they do. Adam Collins dropping down the rigid little blue section. This is I'd say Little Blue and Viagra are probably the two top trails out here, and I love seeing them race it at race speed. It's pretty cool. And taking all these different lines. Normally, you go up this if you're just coming out here to go play wheeling, and you can really flex out the suspension, but I'm seeing some new lines that I wasn't aware about.
Oh, no.
Jeremy Purick's pulling off just before the
track here.
I'll bet you he was switching from high side to low side.
Yeah, that's quite possible. So it's worth remembering that these vehicles, oh, look at the speed of Bailey Cole here as he makes his way down Little Blue. But he's losing touch with those lead cars. They've pulled at least 2 minutes, and I do believe it's where they come down Little Blue there. Cutting that corner off. It takes away 30, 40 seconds each time.
Every time, absolutely.
Every single time. Oh, yeah, look.
Oh,
now he's got a flat tire.
left front flat for Jeremy Purick. There's Albert Contreras trying to chase down Mick Henson.
Yeah, we said flat tires are going to be the problem out here, and it's starting to show already. Now, do you stop and change this flat, or do you get your way back round to the pit?
The Amsoil Hot Pits is another probably mile or so. It's going to be tough, but if he can get through this section, this is probably the toughest part before he gets back to the Amsoil Hot Pits. So if it was me, I think I'd roll with it.
Yeah, and looking at that, it looks like he's carrying 2 spares in the back as well.
Great shot of the entrance to the Bronco Boulders.
There's our current race leader. That is Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming through to the Bronco Rocks. Bronco in the Bronco Rocks.
So cool to see. And he's got some lap traffic that may be starting to take its toll.
And they're going to be passing lap traffic very, very soon indeed. And just behind Vaughn is, of course, Brad Lovell. Now, we missed the overtake earlier. We're not sure what actually happened.
But it's a close battle. Remember, this race is on adjusted time, but they took off side by side. So it's going to be a physical finish between those two.
It is indeed. And you would not bet against that man, Brad Lovell. Look at this. He's taking a different line. Can he find a way through? Oh, look.
Oh, Brad is pushing hard. It's going to be side by side coming out. And between Brad Lovell and Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the national points, Brad's only 12 points ahead of Vaughn Gittin. So whoever places in front of them will take home the Nitto National Championship for the national side.
And Vaughn's not having that. He says, righto, Mr. Lovell, I'm coming for you.
That is absolutely awesome. They are going to be doing an absolute drag race down, but lap traffic is going to be an issue.
They're both running V6 turbo V6 motors.
Very similar Broncos. Excellent driving by both of these guys. This is going to be absolutely awesome.
Is the lap traffic going to prove an issue here?
It is.
Look at this.
Look, Albert Contreras slows down Vaughn Gittin. Brad Lovell does get around him.
Let's not forget that Albert Contreras actually started on the line behind them, but he has stopped for a spare tire.
Hopefully we can catch him on that little water crossing. Yes, there they are.
It's like Brad's just pulling a little bit of a lead there. And that's John Schaefer now coming into view.
And more lap traffic.
Oh, we've just seen that little bit of body panel there come off of Brad Lovell's car, so we haven't got to worry about that anymore.
But it's going to be pretty close as they're going to be coming up the Yukon launch here very shortly.
And crossing the line there, that is Alex Fleming.
Part of Sherpa Motorsports with that Toyota 4Runner with that V8. Back to Albert Contreras, all the way from Compton, California.
Albert's been racing with us many, many years here in Ultra 4. So good to see he's made the journey out across here.
There's a great shot of the Yukon launch right there that Jeremy Purick's going up. So more lap traffic for Brad Lovell and Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Indeed. Oh, now let's not forget that Jeremy's got a flat tire. Is it going to be a problem for him? No, he gets out of the way just in time as we watch Bailey Cole picking his way through the Bronco Rock Garden.
Brad Lovell still out front. Vaughn Gittin Jr. getting around Jeremy Purick as they head into the Recaro Boulders.
And Brad Lovell just finding a little bit of extra pace there, just pulling out 50 meters on the drifting legend that is Vaughn Gittin Jr.
And John Schaefer, who's sitting second in the Eastern Division, right behind Vaughn Gittin Jr. So if he has a great run, he might be able to pull out second place behind Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the Eastern Series.
We've been racing now for 30 minutes in this hour and a half plus one race. And that is our current third place vehicle. That is car number 13, Bailey Cole. So we just have a look at our top 5. In 5th position, we've got Kendall Kleins. In 4th position, Albert Contreras. And then in the top 3, it's Bailey Cole, Vaughn Gittin Jr., and of course, that man, Brad Lovell, currently leading.
What a great race between Brad Lovell and Vaughn Gittin Jr. as he heads through the Method Wheels start-finish, blowing by the AMSOIL hot pits. There's Adam Collins coming in the Bronco Boulders. Jim, this is a great race.
It is indeed. We knew that these... Oh, look at this. Fast camera work there from our guys. Vaughn Gittin Jr. is coming into the hot pit.
Looks like a right rear flat tire. So the Fun Hover Off-Road team is in there ready to check it out. So that's going to give Brad a pretty good lead. We'll see how quick they can get him in and out of the AMSOIL hot pits.
Still the action keeps on coming out on track. We were talking about it earlier, that flat tyres are going to be a big problem here today. We've already seen at least 3 cars come in and stop for flats.
So it's been an entire year of racing, and it comes down to this one final race, the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall, here at the South Grand Lake Recreational Area. Alex Fleming having some problems out on course, pulls off to the side, getting out. Remember, this is a no-chase race. You can only have help inside the AMSOIL hot pits other than a fellow competitor. So they're both out checking something. Looks like something in the right front. We'll see if they take their helmets off, you know, it's going to be a long fix. So they're inspecting some stuff. Tough break for Alex Fleming.
I think we're going to see the attrition ramp up as this race continues.
Vaughn,
only about third distance at the moment.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. pulling out of the AMSOIL hot pits, so that tire change was about 2 minutes, so pretty respectable. You have to go all the way through the AMSOIL hot pits and then take a left. It is only 15 miles an hour through that section as well.
So it's exit and back up to race speed.
So Jim, let's go through the entire field over there.
We can do that for you, Miles. Let me just wander on down. Okay, so in 13th position is Adam Collin. In 12th is Joe Fabrizio. In 11th is Jeremy Purick. In 10th is Mick Henson. In 9th is Tom Biddle. In 8th is Alex Fleming, but he is stopped on course currently. In 7th is John Williams. In 6th is John Schaefer. In 5th is Kendall Kleins. In 4th is Albert Contreras. In 3rd is Bailey Cole. 2nd, Vaughn Gittins Jr., although I think that Bailey Cole is probably now taken 2nd position. And then in first place at the moment is Brad Lovell. But we'll just wait for confirmation, but I'm fairly certain that Bailey Cole will now be officially our 2nd place car on track.
As Tom Biddle comes down the middle of the Little Blue, kind of the standard issue, and there's Brad Lovell making a pass on the right side. That is a fast section, and I know everybody, the 4500, 48s, and the 44s are watching this race and saying, that's the side to go.
Yep.
Because they're on 35s, they're going to be on 37s or 44s even. So I think if you're not taking that right lane, we looked at that. JT and I were marking course, and we looked at like, somebody might try that, whatever. And now it's the standard issue line.
Indeed. Oh, you see a big flare out there. Now, has he got a flat on the back? And the way that car kicked around, it did look like it was possible.
There's about 18 inches of water crossing right there, so it's not too bad.
But there's multiple lines. You don't have to take that line. You can go somewhere else. As we watch John Schaefer.
Back to Mick Henson.
Oh, look at that.
And remember, he's running leaf springs, just sending it off that little step down. Uh-oh, tailgate fell open.
Goes down. Yeah, he's going to lose the cooler in a minute.
Back to Kendall and Brexton Glines. This is a fun little section. You can tomorrow, I think they're going to ride that wall a little bit. There's a fast, if you can get up on that little side hill and really send it, it's going to be pretty impressive. Speaking about that, there's Vaughn Gittin Jr., physically in 2nd position. Well, possibly 3rd.
I think he's probably in 3rd position at the moment. He's hunting down actually the 4th place in position, which would be Albert Contreras.
So whatever Alex
That's
had
good to
some
see.
issues,
Yep.
he got that squared away, or pushing it to the Amsoil hot pits. Time will tell.
Yeah, it looks like he's still got the spare in the rack, so it wasn't the tyre, so it must have been another problem.
And there's Albert Contreras right behind him.
And have you noticed that Albert's picking up the pace? He's not being quite as soft and gentle as he was on those opening laps.
And there's Bailey Cole. Where's he at on course? Okay, so I think he's physically in that third position.
I still
We're
think he
guessing.
might have weighed his weight up in 2nd place. We'll just have to wait confirmation as he comes through the start-finish arch. But I do believe that Bailey Cole might well be up into 2nd position now.
Kendall Glines back into the Bronco Boulder section. There's Vaughn Gittin Jr. He was the national championship in the 4400 class last
He's
year.
got to be behind Bailey because it looked to me like Bailey had already done Little Blue.
Okay.
Look at the pace.
Kendall Glines with Lone Peak making his way through the Bronco Boulders. That is a really nasty rock pile, but it's starting to get burned in a little bit. There's kind of a little main trail through the center. When we first came out here and scouted it a couple months ago, it was terrible. We had to go out there with a mini excavator and kind of knock down the high spots. As Mick Henson's making his way down the rigid Little Blue area.
And there's our current race leader. That is Brad Lovell. Look at the speed and the pace he's carrying as he makes his way through to the Bronco Rocks. Has a commanding lead now. He's just got to keep it together.
It's been a great race here for the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall. And joining me in the booth, two-time king, Mr. Lauren Healy. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, Miles? Yeah, stoked to be out here racing in Oklahoma. It's a wild course out here, and you know, it's going to be taking care of your trucks for sure.
I mean, there's some real rocks out here. The water crossings are a little interesting. They're not bad, but they are there. It definitely has to pay attention to it.
Man, I mean, it's deep though, so.
But I'd say 18 inches to 2 feet, so it's deep but not terrible.
But it's coming up over your hood. So all three of the Broncos right now, I'm sitting there listening to them all talk. They're having some power cuts, some stuff going on because that water. I think Bailey actually got some into his intake. That's why you saw him sputtering at the end of the first lap. I think it's dried up for him, and he's back kind of moving on pace right now. But you're going to have to really be careful in the race to not soak your intercoms, your air filter, and the rest of your electronics.
So here's the Little Blue section. We saw that's the normal, or what I thought was going to be the normal line, but we've seen your teammates, Brad Lovell and Vaughn, coming down the right side. I was skeptical about a 4400 car doing it, and now in a Bronco, that is insane. Did you think they were going to try that? Have you guys talked about that? And I assume that's your line tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, so we sat there and watched everybody pre-run for a while yesterday, and we were pretty nervous about the Bronco with the short wheelbase, limited travel, smaller tires taking that line. But we found out, we saw a little sneak video of Brad doing it last night. And we're like, all right, well, if you don't take that line, you're giving up 30 seconds a lap. So that's your only choice.
Yeah, we were watching Bailey Cole. He's actually taking the left line, so he's losing, I'm going to say, 20 to 30 seconds each time. But we did see Vaughn come into the pits, have a change of tire. That's bad luck there, but he's back on pace, and it was an excellent battle between him and Brad there for about a lap. They were back and forth, and it was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, they got some good stuff going on, and there's still another hour left to race, so we'll see how stuff's going.
Yeah, probably right about an hour. So it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. And right here, that's a great section. You can ride that wall. Do you think you're going to do that tomorrow?
I definitely think I am. I think
with if you can keep the high speed, just like what he's doing there, but at high speed, it's going to be fun. So your right rear is going to be dancing a little bit on the low side, but
it's really
I hope
cool.
you do it.
There's one less water puddle to splash through, so I'm definitely staying high up on the wall.
It's going to be just like that drone had it. If you can do that and dance that wall, it's going to be an excellent video.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. This place is amazing. I mean, so this is the first time ever with an endurance race here in Disney, right?
Yeah, yep.
And
we did a good old boy race, probably I think it was 07, 08.
Okay.
But it was just handshakes and you go here and there, kind of like how King of the Hammer started.
Okay.
But it was just for fun. But for a sanctioned event for this, here we are.
And I feel like it's a little bit different than anything we've ever raced on before. It's
got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, this really like hard, sharp rock that's jarring the whole time you're running through this riverbed, and these boulders that the Toyota's working through right now they're kind of reminiscent of the NorCal or the old those rock piles that you kind of
they're gnarly. Yeah.
They are, and really sharp, jagged rocks that are taking care of your tires is going to be one of the big keys.
And there's Bailey Cole and the Bronco boulders. And we were talking about that earlier this week. Just, we ran around this course. I don't know, I've got 15 laps on it, just marking and cutting trees and all that. And I was like, tires are going to get shredded out here. If you have a good luck and don't have it flat, they're going to be smoked by the end.
Absolutely. And the next thing, so there's Brad coming through the finish line.
So Brad Level still out front. Our time splits aren't working on our timing right now.
I don't have it on my phone either. Yeah, I actually was hoping you had it working, but
yeah, I was hoping too, but I've hit refresh a couple times. So,
all right, yeah.
But Brad Level had a sub 10-minute lap, and I was guessing 15 to 20, and you said I think we're going to see sub 10, and now the stock class already just did 10. So what are you thinking? You doing 8?
So they've got a pretty good bypass.
Oh, you are right. So they don't have to do waterfall and Viagra. So
10 minutes still probably accurate for.
You're probably
for the
right.
Big cars.
Yep, you're probably right.
Maybe sub 10 minute, but I still think it's pretty close.
Yeah, they do get a bypass there. Thanks for correcting me. I kind of forgot about that part. But yeah, tomorrow you will go up Waterfall and down Viagra, and that'll add a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's my most nervous spot, I think, on the track of a potential traffic jam is right there at the waterfall.
Especially at the start. That's going to be interesting. You're starting fourth row?
Yep, 8th place qualifying. Didn't have it together this morning. My car was stumbling and sputtering a little bit, and with a 20-second qualifying time, there was no room for mistakes, and if you gave up a second, you were in trouble. So,
but this race is on adjusted time, so honestly, I think you're sitting pretty nice to where you're at. You're not going to get caught with too much lap traffic, but at the end of the race, the adjusted time will be on your side.
Yep, and you don't have any dust that's going to be a problem here.
Yeah, we've had some dusty races this year. I mean, we've done our best to do what you can, but sometimes Mother Nature doesn't help you. And Monday and Tuesday is when we really had to mark course hard. We got poured on. It was terrible out there on course, but it made for a perfect race day.
I saw you in your social media just out here getting poured on.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you just got to work through it, and that's what Adam Collins is doing right there at the bottom of the Rigid Little Blue.
Yeah, this place is, I've always seen, Disney as one of those places to come wheeling and check out crazy, wild stuff. And this is a really, really neat park. And, I've heard there's more acreage that, of course, could maybe be developed a little bit.
Yeah, I think they've got 200 miles of trails out here. I think 20,000 acres that you can touch on that GRDA is over, but we'll see how it shakes out. We just saw Vaughn, your team, Funhammer teammate out there running strong. It looks like he's about I'm going to say 2 minutes off pace, which is that tire change.
Yep. Yeah, they were running right there within 10 seconds of each
Left
other.
front flat for Alex Fleming. So the tires are definitely becoming an issue.
Absolutely.
He's got the Yukon Launcher Recaro Rocks, and he can come back to the Amsoil Hot Pits, so I'm sure he'll just keep pushing through that.
Yep.
So talk me through your strategy tomorrow. Are you going 100% the whole race? Are you going to race the 75 for the first hour or so and see where you're at? Or put the visor down and see what happens?
I feel like this is very Moab-ish again, and I told you before that race that I was going to see how the race developed for the first half of it and then try to set my pace off of that. I don't want to make the mistake early on of getting a flat or breaking the car or something that puts you a lap down and then you just never recover from that. So I really want to see how the race develops for the first part. Like you're saying, I have that 2 minutes of adjusted time on the leaders, and so I should be able to get some good split times and try to find a good pace, trying to figure out how to work in that joker line.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. The waterfall, that I love the joker line. It throws it all out the window on where you're at and strategy. I love strategy of racing.
Yep, and I'm kind of thinking that when I have a fresh car right in the beginning, I might want to hit it, right away and have that on the leaders as well.
Especially if it's open. So to me, if I'm racing and I don't see anybody in there, I'm taking it.
Yep, I think that's about where my head's at on strategy too. And if that's first lap and there's nobody in there, don't let it keep wait until the end.
Because what if is a bottleneck at the end? Because if you don't take the Joker, you didn't finish. So now all of a sudden you don't get any points. You get 200 points for starting.
Right.
Well, 400 because it's a double points race.
Right. And what if you didn't? What if you got a flat, and you're trying to go in there but not a healthy car? I think you try to play it where you have a perfectly healthy car and try to hit it kind of early, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. This is the 4600 Spider Track stock class we're watching. Jeremy Burek blasting through that little water section. Are you able to skim that? I assume with the horsepower you have.
We were trying, and it just brings you to a stop. It's like
really?
You stand on the brake. So it doesn't come up over the hood, which is obviously a very good thing. Anytime you can keep it from getting up in the electronics and the air filter, that's your goal. But yeah, it's the water crossings are just deep enough to. It's like standing in a shower and turning the shower on in your face
real quick, and then having to see
squeegees. We're like, do we have a squeegee on a string bouncing around in here to get our visors clean? Because it's not mud where a tear-off will clean it. It'd be like you need the windshield wipers because you'd go through 4 tear-offs every time the water hits you. So it's interesting.
And you're in a single-seat car this race, which you've raced this whole season, if I'm not mistaken. You raced your 2-seat at King of the Hammers, but you're back in the single-seat again.
Yeah, and I ran it at the Mint. We ended up 3rd in Class 1 there, and then raced the 2-seater in Moab where we almost had the win there. Paul got me by a few seconds there. But most of the races since then have been good single-seat style courses. So, I get asked that a lot, and it's, I do love that independent car, but it's more of an endurance car. It's down about 100 horsepower, about 1,000 pounds heavier. The center of gravity's higher. It doesn't corner quite as great, but man, straight line, cushy, whoops, rocks, it just eats it up. Yep. So that truck was definitely, built. The only thing I think about is how to win King of Hammers again, and that truck was built with that in mind. My goal is to always get to having multiple cars and be able to run multiple cars.
I love it. I mean, I remember the first year you won King of the Hammers. I think it was 2010. Yep, 2010. And I was out doing pit crew stuff, and who won? Lauren Heath. I was like, who's that? And then to see where you came from there, now you're a 2-time king, and now you're a professional athlete with Monster and Nitto and Ford Performance, and it's just so cool to see you've progressed with Vaughn. You've teamed up there. You've helped his driving. He's helped your social side, and you guys really have a good thing going.
Thanks, Miles, man. I sure do appreciate it. And yeah, it's the dream. I always have to pinch myself a little bit because this is what I get to do it for a living, and turning your passion into your career or into your what you do for a living is absolutely something that you would die for.
I mean, I'm in the same boat. I was doing the pit crew stuff, started announcing a little bit, and then here we are. This is my full-time gig, hanging out with you all the time, and that's so cool because every race we come to, we get to hang out with our friends in the pits, behind the scenes. The Ultra 4 USA family is just such a great thing out here, and now teaming up with Mid-America Outdoors, it's amazing. Like tonight, the Trunk or Treat, the music downtown, they're closing it down. It's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to see the vision, that everything kind of coming together and the trajectory where everything, the growth of the sport, it's really awesome, and it's so good to see. And we're all so invested in it, and we want to see this sport just continue to grow and continue to grow. So yeah, in this situation, I think Mr. Schaefer should hit the brakes because he's being lapped,
which he just did. But for a sec, he kind of just a tick.
He was racing Brad there, and that sportsmanship for the guy that's trying to win the championship and trying to win the race, he should have. I've been in that experience a little bit, and he should hit the brakes in that situation the second you see that driver.
And that back to speaking about Brad Lovell, that's our physical race leader, dealing with a little bit of lap traffic, but he is out there doing some good things out there. Vaughn Gittin Jr. physically second, Bailey Cole physical third, and there's some pretty good Ford contingency money on the line. It's going to be pretty interesting to see who takes home those big checks.
Yeah, it's awesome how Fords came in and supported the 4600 class, and really in the beginning, that was the vision of this class, is that the OEMs would get involved and come durability test their vehicles,
improve their platform.
Absolutely, Jeep, Toyota, Chevy. We hope that that's what this turns into. That everybody comes out and battles it out, and they bring their new vehicles and they build race trucks, but it's on a stock frame, it's on a stock drivetrain. That's the really cool part about it, and it's just really showing how great and amazing vehicle the Ford Bronco is.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It looks like we do have a rollover on top of Little Blue. And the 4605 of Albert Contreras has some broken steering, so the attrition's definitely starting to set in. This is our last race of the season, and we are getting everything geared up for the Nitto National Championship. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how it shakes out. Obviously, King of the Hammer is the first race of the season, and you had a little issues there, so your season got a little goofed up early, but I love to see out here you're still a fierce competitor. And let's talk about you and Paul Wolf for a little bit. Paul Wolf is not new to off-road, but he's new to Ultra 4. He came in with his Can-Am, is dominated, and then he gets this UFO. I'm like, okay, this might be fun to watch. And then you and him have had some of the most epic battles out there.
Yeah, it's definitely been a season for the books. I mean, I love, thinking of the old days of me and Shannon battling door to door, just back and forth every race, and it's kind of revived that crazy battle, that really makes you push that extra little bit. It pushes you out of your comfort zone, makes you take those extra risks, and really try to do everything to win. So it's been an epic year. Like you said, KOH didn't go great for me. So I come out just trying to win every race, and I'm up there top 2 in the West Coast Championship, so I do have a little bit on the line as far as the championship.
Which would be awesome to do, for sure.
And the guy in front of me is Paul Wolf, so there's a little bit on the line there. Vaughn's going for the overall championship again for the second year in a row.
Yeah, if the points add up, he can do it.
Him and Blyler, some points got to fall a little bit. See how Josh does with that, but so we're definitely here trying to figure out how hard do we push. Are we trying to win this race? Are we trying to win some championships? Like, what's the strategy here? So it's been an epic year, though. I really have enjoyed racing with Paul. There's been some crazy door-to-door battles go on, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. I'm sure we're going to have more and more of it.
And I love how you guys, you're racing on course, but then off the course, you'll give him a little pointer here. He was new to the game. Ooh, Brad Lovell pulling into the Amsoil hot pits. Looks like a right rear flat, possibly. So yes, flat tires. So we'll see whose pit crew down there does a better job, because Vaughn Gittin Jr. pulled in earlier with a flat tire. So we'll see if how much time Vaughn Gittin's going to catch on Brad Lovell.
Yeah, we had a airline closed on our speed jack. So
whoops!
It was a little bit longer of a tire change than we would have liked.
Was that your fault?
That was not my fault. I'm not typically the pit guy, crew leader over there.
Accidents happen.
Yeah, that's good. This is going to tighten stuff up for sure. So we'll see if it gives Vaughn a chance to get back into the race.
What a great race this is turning into be.
Yeah, Brad got in and out quick.
Out already. I'm going to say that's under a minute, and I think Vaughn was closer to that 2-minute mark with that airline.
Do we got some update times here? All right.
Oh, we are starting to get some split times. So it still looks like it's Brad Lovell with the fastest lap last time with a 10:52, but overall fastest lap is a 9:57 by Brad Lovell.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Yep, sub 10 minutes. So, all right, well, I'm going to go back down into the pits, but thank you so much for having me up, Miles. I always love chatting with you guys and talking race strategy and stuff. So.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, buddy. Have fun and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks,
and
guys.
we'll see you
Appreciate
tonight at the Trunk or Treat.
Absolutely.
So there's Vaughn Gittin Jr., so he's still a couple minutes behind Brad Lovell.
It's so cool having a two-time champion up on stage. I'm sorry you're going to have to suffer me again now, Miles.
Oh, I love working with you, buddy. No worries at all. I like working with everybody. Looks like Albert Contreras is calling the race with some steering issues, and that rollover at the top of Little Blue, no medical issues at all.
There is Vaughn Gittin Jr. He's just crossing the line now for the start of his 5th lap, I believe.
You got the timing in front of you.
I have indeed, and it is for his 5th lap, so away we go once again.
So to get the same time we have in the Nitto studio, go to live.ultra4racing.com for our live timing. And please share with everybody. Go to our MAO app, go to ultra4racing.com/live or the Ultra4 and MAO Facebook and YouTubes. Share it, start a watch party, hashtag it up. As Tom Biddle coming down the rigid Little Blue section.
There is John Williams there, making his way. He's just come through the start-finish arch. John Williams will be starting his 4th lap, I believe. Just double-check that. John Williams is actually starting his 2nd, apparently, so I'm just going to keep an eye on that, see if that corrects, because I don't think that's quite correct. But there is Bailey Cole, our current 3rd-place vehicle on track, making his way up to complete his 5th lap. But there's been lots of action out on course, Miles.
There's action all over the place. This is turning into be a pretty good race, and like we were talking about attrition, we've seen our leaders come in for some tire issues.
Just look at the way that he has to drift out wide there on these incredibly slippery rocks. And that's Bailey Cole going out to start his 6th lap. His fastest lap is a 10 minute and 30 seconds. That last lap was an 11 minutes and 3 seconds. The fastest lap at the moment is held by our current race leader, and that is that man there. It's Brad Lovell, putting an absolute blistering 9 minutes and 57 seconds earlier on in the race.
What a great race for him, for sure. Brad Lovell is one of those guys that always is just a true professional out on course. And we have Kendall Glines stopped out on course.
Yeah, no one likes
it looks
to
like
see
he's
that.
getting ready to crawl out, so he's having some issues as well. So the attrition is really starting to set in.
Yeah, it's a tough course. Let's not forget it is all rocks out there. And here it's Vaughn Gittin Jr., our current 2nd vehicle on course.
So Mick Henson is on the backside of the Amsoil hot pits. Doing a little splash pass. What a great race we have for the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. We started this race right at high noon. We're almost an hour into it, so another half hour and that white flag will be flying because we're doing 1.5 hours plus 1. So at an hour and a half, the white flag flies.
Jeremy Purick there just goes right on the tailgate, but then backs off.
This race is on adjusted time, and it's all down to this race to crown the national champion, the Western champion, and the Eastern. So lots of hardware will be handed out tomorrow night, but today, after this race, we'll be handing out some of those Laser Nut trophies.
We are indeed. And let's not forget that later on today, we're going to be having the 4900 UTV class out on track.
That'll be at 3 p.m. Central Time. We have 46 UTVs out on course.
And there is Vaughn Gittin Jr., our physical 2nd place car on track, and sitting in 2nd place behind Brad Lovell. Saw him coming earlier for a flat tyre. Team did a great job of changing it quickly. As we watch Jeremy Purick there chasing his way through the Bronco rocks.
Bailey Cole still running strong out there on course. Let's run through our top 10 once again.
Yeah, we can go through our top 10. Now, there is some isn't quite right. So in 10th place we have Tom Biddle. In 9th we have Adam Colan. Then it's Albert Contreras, but we believe he's now actually out of the race. So in physical 8th position, we've got Alex Fleming. Then in 7th, Jeremy Purick, who we just saw on track just a moment ago. In 6th is Mick Henson. In 5th, it's Kendall Glines, who we also saw stopped on track, so hopefully he can get going again. In 4th, it's John Schaefer in the Jeep. And then in 3rd, in his Bronco, is Bailey Cole. In 2nd, Vaughn Gittin Jr., also in a Bronco. And leading the race at the moment, it is Brad Lovell.
Yeah, what a great race we have here to finish out the 2022 season. But let's talk about 2023 for Ultra 4. We're going to start out with King of the Hammers, February 2nd through the 11th. That'll be the first official race for Ultra 4 USA.
Indeed. Now, our second race is going to be at Rush at the Rush Off-Road Park, and that's going to be from April the 20th to April the 23rd. Then our third race is going to be at the Broad, Montana at the YORR. And that's going to be from May 18th to the 21st. We're just watching there as Bailey Cole's powering his way through. Then the fourth race is going to be Visions at Mid-America Outdoors, literally just up the road from where we're sat right now. That's going to be June 14th to the 18th. And the fifth Ultra 4 race will be at Pottsville at the famous Reading Outdoors. That's July 27th to the 30th. Then the 6th race is going to be back at the Big House at Crandon. We all love to race there. That's August the 31st to September the 4th. Then the 7th race in the Ultra 4 calendar is going to be back here at the South Ground Lake Recreational Area in Disney, Oklahoma, exactly where we're racing now, from September 28th to October 1st. Then our final race, 8th and final race, will be Legends of the Fall at Lake Havasu, and that's going to be October the 24th to the 29th. And there, Mars, is our current race leader, Brad Lovell, picking his way through the rocks once again.
That Bronco boulder section is starting to fall. There's a couple lines, but you can see some of these big rocks get a little loose here from time to time.
Yeah, I'm just watching the timer right now, and we've just gone over the 1 hour mark, so we've got 30 minutes and 1 lap remaining of this race.
I really like this style of racing. It's pretty cool to see how it comes through.
Yeah, Brad Lovell's looking really good out there. Nice and tidy. No mistakes. There's Jeremy Purick hunting down that Toyota. Look at the racing we've got here. There's Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming up behind. Is that John Schaffer? Yes, it is John Schaffer. So he's now got to find a line past. You've got to be so careful when you're in these rocks. These rocks are big, they're sharp, they're gnarly. Does he take a chance on taking a line that isn't quite right and cutting the tyre? Or does he just wait patiently behind him? But Vaughn wants to win this race. He doesn't want to come second. So he'll just be picking his moment, taking his time. He's all over the rear fender there of John Schaffer. And look at the physical size difference in these vehicles. John, of course, in his Jeep. Vaughn in that big Ford Bronco. And here he goes. He's found his line. He's going to make his pass now. But it's not going to be easy, and he's got to be so careful not to cut a tyre.
And John Schaefer's already a lap down, if I'm not mistaken.
He is indeed. John Schaefer's actually on his 5th lap, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. is currently on his 6th lap. But John's not giving it up. He's making him work for it.
But they're having fun doing it. And there's Vaughn Gittin's 1st in East and John Schaefer's 2nd in East. So it's been a battle between those two all season long. And it comes down to this last race. Heard some horsepower come through the method race start finish of Jeremy Purick. That 392 is singing.
Yeah, he's making a move finally on the Mick Henson there in the Toyota Pre-Runner. I'd say that yellow Jeep of Jeremy Purick is absolutely divine. If you get a chance to have a look at it, do so. It really is an awesome look at the kit. But there is Bailey Cole, the number 13 Bronco.
Yeah, what a great way that he's playing this with those new Yokohamas. He's been doing great all season long. He's recently started working for Yukon. Bailey Cole's got a bright future in off-road racing.
It is. He's been involved in it since he was only a very young kid. Saw him out on the Hammer Trails only in his early teens. In an old Toyota Pre-Runner, he cut his teeth, and he's now one of the top drivers in our series.
And he was really, he debuted in 4400 class a few years ago and did extremely well. He started in stock class, races UTVs, made it all the way to the top. He just kind of dabbles a little bit of everywhere.
Did indeed, yep. It's going to be interesting to see how these Yokohama tyres hold up into these extreme conditions. Yokohama are fairly new to this kind of rock sports. Came on board a few years ago, notably with Levi Shirley, and he's been having great success with them.
There's our physical race leader, Brad Lovell, still out there.
And no, he's got no tyre in the rack.
So now he's having to deal with that a little bit. We'll see if that shakes anything up.
I think he's got a fairly strong lead at the moment. Over our 2nd place car, we'll be keeping a check on the time on that. And Brad Lovell's now out on his 7th lap. Great shot there of our pits as we cut back to Bailey Cole. Slowing down for the water. This is on the far side of the course as he makes his way back up towards the Yukon launch. There's Jeremy Purick and Mick Henson.
Oh, the Jeeps. Yep.
And it looks like we have 30 minutes left to go before we're going to wrap up this race. Or, sorry, throw the white flag.
Throw the white flag, that's for sure. They see Jeremy Purick taking a different line there as we cut back. 46.23 of John Williams making his way down Little Blue. Successfully negotiated. Gets around the waterfalls and gets back on it. Now look at this. This is interesting. Jeremy Purick's car, on paper, is much faster than Mick Henson. But Mick Henson doesn't know that or understand surrender.
I love the little Toyota that could. And he's local here. I mean, he comes out here on weekends just for fun, so he knows this area like the back of his hands. And I love the old beat-up Toyota trucks. You know, they're all crinkled on the sides. It's great to see him out here still having fun.
And there's not a straight panel on that car, that is for sure. That is the 46.89 there. With Kendall Kleins. Kendall doing a great job.
And I'm over here watching the crowd just a little bit. And Matthew Walraven, his kid is racing the 170 race later on today, and he didn't have a trailer to get his car over here. And I see James Cantrell, one of our UTV racers, that's going to be racing here in just a little bit, come over here and deliver his car. That's absolutely amazing. I love the sportsmanship between the Ultra 4 racers.
We always say it's about being a family as John Shaver crosses the line to start his 5th lap.
I am still overly impressed with that sub 10-minute lap by Brad Lovell. Obviously, they are bypassing Waterfall and Viagra, but that's still these guys are really laying it out there.
Don't forget though, it's not only bypassing Waterfall and Viagra. They come up the waterfall, they then have to go up the chute, all the way up round in through the woods, and then come back down again through Viagra.
Yeah, so there's a couple minutes up through there.
Yeah, there's at least a couple of minutes worth of racing there. So I think I'm still going to be very surprised if we watch Jeremy Purick making his way down Little Blue if we see any of the 4400s go sub 10.
Lauren and I were talking about that. He still thinks it's going to be right around that 10-minute mark.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting, that's for sure. Oh, look at the
angles. Look at Brad Lovell. That really shows you justice, because Cameron never does it justice. Look how steep it was coming in front of Mick Henson.
Yeah, that was a definitely grab the seat moment.
And I love that Brad's got his son Adam in there.
Yeah, he's giving us a driving masterclass right now.
I can't remember if it was Adam or Bynum. I could be mistaken.
Whichever one it is, he's going to be as proud as punch to be sat next to his dad. He's putting on an absolute driving masterclass right now.
There's Kendall Glines going through the little water section, heading towards the Yukon launch.
Brad Lovell still has the fastest lap of the race with 9:57. The next fastest lap is our second place car with Vaughn Gittin Jr., the 10:14, closely followed by Bailey Cole with the 10:30. And that's the difference that we noticed. We've noticed that Brad Lovell and Vaughn Gittin Jr. have been taking the far side of Little Blue, and it's taking that pace out. We've often seen Bailey Cole is able to catch these guys in open terrain, but because he's not taking that cut line, Little Blue is just pushing him down further and further each lap.
You can't. It's too hitting.
Getting confirmation.
Here we go again. This is a great example of it. This is Vaughn Gittin Jr. taking the cut line at Little Blue, so he's not crossing the ravine, he's not crossing the second gully, he's just going absolutely straight down the wall, and I can't tell you how steep this is.
So getting confirmation from Race Ops, it looks like the white flag will fly around 1:25, because they're kind of paying attention to lap time, so they don't have to do a full extra lap.
Yep, so we've got around about 15 minutes before we see that white flag coming out.
There's Bailey Cole, and he's bypassing the waterfall. The waterfall is just behind us. And then he's going to drop into the bottom of Viagra, but bypass that as well. And they don't have the Joker line as well either.
No, this is very true. Now, we're looking at the Yukon launch there, just on the left-hand side, and at the top of that trail, there is Chips Rock. But that looks like we've got two cars stuck on course here. So that looks like Albert Contreras up the top there.
I believe so. Is that Adam Call? No, that's Kendall Glines.
It's Kendall Klein.
So Albert Contreras and Kendall Glines at the top of the Yukon launch with some issues.
And
back to John Schaefer.
I cannot wait for the main 4400 race tomorrow. That's going to be very special indeed. But don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Later today, we're going to have the 4900s, the UTVs, 3 separate classes of them racing on track for us today.
Yeah, they'll be racing. They'll be scored separately, but yes, they'll be racing at the same time for the 4900 Can-Am UTV class.
Okay. And there's some blisteringly fast vehicles on that field. We saw Paul Wolf today qualifying with a 24 seconds in the UTV, which is absolutely astonishing, and would have put him into the top 20 in the main 4400 race. As we watch Bailey Cole making his way around the bottom of Little Blue.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We have a huge shout out to Jason and Gayla Robinette and the entire Mid-America Outdoors crew, all the volunteers, the Ultra 4 staff, media, safety, USAC, racers, and fans. With that, all that coming together, we would not be racing here today. We also have USAC here on site. They're our sanctioning body and help run timing and scoring, race ops, safety, and tech. And we would not be here without Progressive Insurance, 4-Wheel Parts, Optima Batteries, Monster Energy, Bronco, Ford, Can-Am.
King Shots, Laser Nut, Griffin Radiator, VP Racing Fuels, Nitto Tire, Holly EFI, and King of the Hammers.
Spider Tracks, Recaro Seats, Baja Jerky, and Wheelin'.
AMSOIL, Method Race Wheels, Axel RC Cars, and PCI Race Radios.
ARB, Rigid, Brannick Motorsports, Tread Lightly, and Action Sports Canopy.
Off the Grid Clothing, MBRP, Yukon Gear and Axle, HCR, and Warn and Factor 55.
So please support who supports the sport. With all of those amazing marketing partners who would not be out here racing for the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall.
There's Jeremy Purick there. Just look at this Jeep. It's absolutely glorious. Wearing the colours of Miller Motorsports. And we'll be seeing many more of the Miller Motorsports vehicles over the weekend.
I'm not sure if Mick Henson's tailgate's going to make the end of this race. It's flopping back and forth as we're back to our race leader and almost off-road Hall of Famer, Brad Lovell. He'll be inducted in tomorrow night in Las Vegas at the beginning of the SEMA week.
Doesn't have to be a big camera.
He's done a little bit of everything from short course. He's raced King of the Hammers for such a long time. He's been part of the Ultra 4 family for so long as well, and he's got multiple championships, and it just goes to show why the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame nominated him.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to see it going to not dare I just say, not an older gentleman, but somebody who's already still delivering and still giving back to the sport.
And he brings his whole family. His wife, Natalie, had a headset on. He's got one of his boys riding shotgun. It's just great to see everybody out here enjoing themselves.
And Mick Henson makes the pass. He passes Jeremy Purick, jumps for joy as he does so. And I think you're right, that tailgate, we're going to have to take a bet on this one.
I don't know if it's already splitting in the middle.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a Toyota. It'll be there for another 150 years.
Was at my cousin's wedding last October.
Oh, that's cool.
Here's the reason they're the choice of terrorists.
Yeah, my mom's whole side of the family.
And there goes Vaughn Gittin Jr. through the Bronco boulders. Checking up just a little bit, trying to save some tires.
Do you know what? I think Mick Henson's going through faster than he is right now.
He's the one that he just got passed by him.
No, that was Jeremy Purick.
Oh.
Vaughn's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's just keeping the tires under that car.
But look at this. Bailey Cole's not too far behind Vaughn Gittin now, so he's starting to pick up the pace. So right now, if Brad Lovell wins this race, he'll take home a lot of money. He'll take home probably about $1,250 from Ford Performance, quite a bit of good check from Mid-America Outdoors and Ultra 4. He'll take home the National Championship and the Western Championship. So if Brad Lovell can keep this race together, it's going to mean the world to him as Mick Henson hits the water hole a little bit too hard and stalls the engine.
Yeah, no, that's unlucky there. It's the trouble with these vehicles that are running with carburetors and distributors. They don't like water. But Jeremy Purick doesn't have that problem. He'll be running with an ECU with fuel injection. No distributors to be seen as we watch Jeremy Purick from a different angle going past Mick Henson. So tough luck there for Mick Henson.
But remember, he just went, it got it back going. So I was wondering if maybe he shook something loose through the Bronco belt.
So we got this group and then another group, right? That's pushing it, right?
Brad Lovell still out on course, pushing strong. He'll be crossing the Method Race Wheel start-finish line here in just a moment.
Yeah, here he's going to be going out. He's the first car to come through to start his 8th lap.
So we'll see if he can get one more lap. It's 1:15. He can turn a 10-minute lap. So
I think he's going to get another 2 laps. I think we're going to see 10 laps out there.
There's a great shot of the AMSOIL hot pits and all of our marketing partners blowing in the wind. Usually we love wind, but today it doesn't matter too much. There's not much dust at all, as we see John Williams physically sitting in 4th position in national points.
Yeah, just John Burst being slow and steady, picking his line through, saving those tyres. Although we've seen a lot of flat tyres out there, we haven't seen quite as many as I was expecting, if I'm honest.
I'll agree with that. I thought there was going to be a ton out there. We've definitely seen a few, but 3 or 4, I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, likewise. So Brad Lovell has built up quite a lead now as we look at the 46.53.
Tomorrow.
That's Tom Biddle.
It is Tom Biddle.
With Filthy Motorsports and doing yep, he made it. Had to dip it in a little water a little bit, but the drone did a little cool under overshot.
And that looks like Kendall Kleins is back up and running
again.
Yeah,
we saw him stopped at the Recaro
so that's
Rock.
Great to see. And look at that in the background there, chasing down Jeremy Purick. It is our 2nd place car, Vaughn Gittins Jr.
That looks like he has a little bit of lap traffic to deal with Jeremy Purick.
Oh, that's great to see. With Mick Henson running in the background again, so that's great to see that he's back up and running.
And right where Purick is another little, it's probably about 18 inches to 2 foot deep. And there is a little bit of a right line here if Vaughn Gittin can kind of bypass there.
I think you'll find he's just going to hold tight there. He knows that he can just get onto that start straight and he can just power past him. And I think that's exactly what he's going to wait for. He'll dive out to the right now. No, he's going up the left. That surprises me.
And gets around 2 of them, gets around Jeremy Purick and Tom Biddle.
And hunting down Kendall Kleins, who's just in front, as we watch John Schaefer making his way across the rocks.
John Schaefer is still running strong out in his Jeep. RPM Extreme, back to Brad Lovell. Heading to the bottom of the waterfall section.
He's absolutely in control of this race right now. Or as in control as anyone can be.
Yeah, it's kind of his race to lose right now. If he can keep a perfect race, I think he's got it locked up. But Vaughn Gittin Jr. is there to take advantage if he has any mishaps.
He is, and let's not forget, somewhere lurking in the background, not that far behind, is Bailey Cole.
So in national points, it looks like if everything sticks, it'll be what it is. Brad Lovell 1, Vaughn Gittin Jr. 2, and Bailey Cole in 3rd. So that's going to be pretty cool to see how that shakes out.
It's going to be interesting to get Bailey's reaction at the end of the race when he discovers that these guys have been taking that inside line at Little Blue.
Yeah, I wonder if his team's watching the live feed or not, and kind of giving a little split on that. Back to Mick Henson, the tailgate's still there, Jim.
Yeah, you see, I don't think that they are doing that, because if he was, I think he'd have already changed his line and already be diving down it. So there's a top tip for anybody who's going racing. Always watch the live feed. You never know what you're going to learn. And we're just talking about it right now. And here is Brad Lovell taking that cut line at Little Blue.
And he's dropping in the opposite side from the Rigid Ridge. So there's definitely multiple lines coming that Little Blue, and it's going to be fun. We're racing UTVs here in just a little bit with 46 cars on course at once. That is going to be a sight to see. It's going to be a tough one to watch and keep track of who's going on with 3 different class races at the same time, but it's going to be a blast to watch. I will promise you that.
It is.
And just to your left, that's the Nasty Girl Trail. They'll be doing NRRA race there tomorrow night. It's going to be a fun one to watch. It's a super steep climb. We saw Tim Cameron this morning have a great run and won both Bouncer and UTV. So there's so much going on. And speaking about that, tonight we're shutting down downtown Disney. We're going to have all of our race cars line up around 4 o'clock, start a trunk or treat. We're going to have all the family, all the kids come up there. I think the Robinettes bought 1,500 pounds of candy, and then we're going to do a racer appreciation dinner, have Aces Wild, and then a class act of KC Donahue. You're going to get ready for some good music tonight, Jim.
It's a little bit different from where I come from, but I'm going to be embracing that and having some fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to have a great time tonight. You know, like I said, family-friendly at its finest. So if you're anywhere in the area, come on out. And then tomorrow, it's the Mid-America Outdoors Championship Series at Mid-America Outdoors, which is only about a half hour away. And then they're going to have a very similar deal tomorrow night with live music, trunk or treat. There's spook trails, and it's open to the public tomorrow night at Mid-America Outdoors. So if you're anywhere in the area, come to Disney tonight, go to Mid-America Outdoors tomorrow, and let's have some fun.
Indeed, we just watched Bailey Cole there passing Jeremy Purick, and that there is Adam Colon, still on track. And there's our physical second place car right now. That is Vaughn Gittin Jr. And I'll tell you what, mate, Bailey Cole is closing the door.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this shakes out for that third to second.
Yeah, we've got 3 cars are on their 8th lap at the moment. Our current first place is Brad Lovell. In second is Vaughn Gittin Jr., who's on screen right now. And then, of course, is Bailey Cole in third. And there's Tom Biddle in another Toyota. Needs a bit of polish around the edges, but she's a beaut. As we watch Adam Colon still making his way through the rocks.
What a great day it's been. We started at 8 a.m. this morning doing qualifying, and Bailey Cole's still taking the ridge.
Still taking that line. He's still losing 30 seconds every single lap.
And the rest of this race, he's doing really well. But he's still in there.
He is, but we know he's got the pace for these boys. But these guys are so equally matched. All 3 of these Broncos are so similar that you need to find little advantages in every little place. And you can see that he's driving harder than the other 2 guys. But he can't make it up all the time he's going around the far side of Little Blue. He's just giving out, he's handing that time back to them every single time.
So Jeremy Purick out there still running strong. Rock Crawler suspension. Running the Miller Motorsports livery.
Yeah, it's sad we're not going to see Eric Miller racing out here this weekend, but he's got some things he's got to work through. He's got a shoulder injury at the moment, and he wants to get himself straight, so he's ready for King of the Hammers. He's absolutely confident that he can take the win next year, and that's what he's concentrating on. So, hope you get better soon, dude.
And Tom Biddle's coming down the normal Little Blue line, and Mick Henson takes the rigid ridge on the side.
Now, Mick
and
Henson,
look on the back how twisted up Tom Biddle's getting.
Yeah. Now, is Mick Henson going to try and hunt down Jeremy Purick once again? Watching Tom Biddle now, he's just dropping off the far side of Little Blue.
I love both of those Toyotas, still running strong, running with the big guys and gals out on course, having some fun.
The fantastic shots keep coming here. Just here we go, coming through the water splash. I think there's Adam Cole on there. Taking it nice and gentle, keeping it on the outside of the car, not on the inside. Most of these cars don't have windshields, so when they hit the water hard, it all comes straight through the car. Now, there are some days that you really like that, but a day like today is a little bit nippy. You don't want it all in the car. Miles is stepping out of the booth for a minute. I'm going to be joined on stage by Pam Hall. Pam, how you doing?
Hey, Jim, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm having a ball. It's so good to be here.
It's been a wonderful day. I've been down in the hot pits, and as you guys have been seeing, the tires were definitely an issue. I'm sure you guys have talked about that, but a lot of action down in the pits this morning, but it's an exciting day out here. The weather's beautiful. We don't have dust. Well, we have a little bit right there, as you see right there with Brad Lovell on screen, but it's been a great day. How are you enjoying Disney Oklahoma?
I'm starting to fall in love with Disney Oklahoma and also with Legends of the Fall as we watch our current race leader. Oh, we actually cut back to, what a wonderful shot here. This is the far wall on the far side of the course, and they're actually up at an angle there of around about 25 degrees as they hit on across here. He now cuts across, makes the transition, and makes his way into the Bronco Rocks.
Yes, over in the hot pits, that's right behind us. It was really cool to watch them with the water. Why they're going high is because of that big water puddle right there.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to see the 4400 class boys on there tomorrow. I reckon we can see speeds of nearly up to 100 mile an hour as they chase that down.
definitely going to be exciting. I know that earlier on in the game this morning, a lot of the drivers were having some electrical issues going on, but they worked through them. They must have dried them out. But that's what was going on earlier on this morning for all of these drivers.
Yeah, now this is Brad Lovell. Now this is interesting. This is actually a pivotal moment in the race as he makes his way around Chips Rock, heading back down towards the Recaro Rocks, and then he's got a water splash, and then he crosses the finish line. Are they going to show him the white flag on this lap, or is he going to be another lap?
Well,
we're now at 1 hour and 23 minutes, so I think they're going to show him the white flag, which will be literally the last lap of the race.
And guess what? Only time will tell.
Absolutely, as we watch John Schaefer, and here we go. Now, if I was Brad Lovell's pit, guys, I'd be saying maybe just hang back a moment here, because if he can get across that line after the 25-minute mark, I think he will receive the white flag. If he gets there before the 25-minute mark, I don't think he will.
So it was 1 minute to the white flag is what the information was just given to us. So it's going to be tight to see where Brad comes in here in just a moment.
I got a feeling he's going to cross the line in time. I got a feeling there's going to be 2 more laps to this race yet. Let's have a look. As we watch Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Now, did you guys have camera up here? I was obviously down there in the hot pits when Vaughn was in getting his tire changed.
We did see some of that. It looked like they were having some problem with the jacks.
Yes, his way he was at and the rocks were, they weren't able to get the jack underneath the car.
That's very interesting. Okay, now, is he going to get shown the white flag? Let's have a look.
There
he gets the white flag. We're on the last lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Our race director, JT Taylor, shows the white flag. So it is Brad Lovell. He started first, he's currently in first and heading out on his final lap.
What an exciting day, and right there on screen, that is Jeremy Purick in the 46.99. Good to see him out here racing, and you can see the drone is following him, getting some amazing views.
Indeed it is, and that is Adam Colon making his way out. Adam's a little bit further down the field. He's only completed 3 laps so far, and that just gives you an idea of the difference in the things.
All right, Jim, I'm going to step out and go get ready for the awards. Miles is coming back in, so thank you for having me up here.
It's always a pleasure to see you, Pam. We'll see you very shortly.
All right, thank you.
That's Kendall Kleins there. He's having a great race as we cut back to John Schaefer picking his way down the far side of Little Blue. And very soon we're going to see our current race leader.
I didn't hear no
Brad Lovell out front. Thank you, Pam, for hopping in for just a moment.
Welcome back, dude.
Yeah,
just in time.
What a great race. The white flag has flown. They've already been racing for right at an hour and a half, and this is going to be a great race. And if Brad Lovell can pull this together, he's going to take some big money home from Ford Contingency. He's going to win the National Championship, the Western Series Championship, and may move into the 3rd place in East as well. He might be able to bump out Bailey Cole. It's going to be down to this last race, and wow, Mr. Brad Lovell could have the biggest weekend of his life here at Ultra 4 USA and the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame.
He could indeed, and the 2nd place car, which is Vaughn Gittin Jr., crosses the line to start his 9th lap, sorry.
How far back is he? About 2 minutes, if I'm guessing?
Yeah, he's going to be around about that right now.
1:27 on the timer. And they started 2 by 2. So they started 1st and 2nd, so he's got a 1.5-minute lead on. This race is on adjusted times. We'll have to play that as it comes through. But you can also go to live.ultra4racing.com for the same live timing we have up here in the Nitto booth.
There is our current race leader, and look at the pace of Brad Lovell as he makes his way back up through.
He's not slowing down at all. He knows that Vaughn Gittin Jr. is back there, and I know they have splits in the pits, but a 1.5 minutes, he's still at a fast pace.
Yeah, he's looking really strong, and it looks like John Williams there.
Still rolling along. He's a little bit off pace, not sure what's going on. There's Tom Biddle.
Forcing that Toyota through the Bronco rock fields. I don't think he's got a shock absorber left on that thing.
Yeah, I was talking earlier this week. I thought shocks would be an issue because there's just so much of this hard rock, and your suspension's completely, you're using your suspension the whole time.
I'm not convinced with that. I think in the desert where we have so many whoops, I think the Shock Absorber's got a bigger workout. Also, where there's so much water on course as well. And this is what we were talking about earlier. We're not going to see high transmission temperatures. We're not going to see high engine temperatures. They're constantly being water cooled. Makes a big, big difference. And there is Brad Lovell. He's taken that cut line once again, a little blue. And it's
For
this
the
cut
final
line.
time.
And it's this cut line that has helped him to build up this tremendous lead.
So Brad Lovell halfway through this race. We'll see him back here in another, I'm going to say 6-7 minutes. And Brad Lovell, if he can keep this pace going, is going to win the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall and take home the Nitto National Championship for the 4600 Spider Track stock class.
Yeah, it looks like Alan Cole on there just picking his way through. Doesn't know that he's just about to be hunted down by Vaughn Gittin Jr. There goes the alarm.
You can hear the iron, yep. Back to Kendall Glines.
It's going to be one of the very few off-road races you'll ever race where you finish with a car cleaner than when you started.
That is no doubt. Yeah, this place is absolutely awesome out here.
Looks like Tom Biddle there making his way across the sand beach, heading down towards the Yukon launch. And there is Bailey Cole, car 13, currently our third place vehicle, approximately 35 seconds, I'd guess, behind Vaughn Gittin Jr.
And we are about to hand out some Laser Nut trophies. Thank you to Cody Wagner and the company.
Awesome shot there at John Schaffer. Just look at the trees.
Yeah,
Autumn has arrived here.
It is absolutely gorgeous out here on course.
And Vaughn Gittin Jr. making his way down the cut line at Little Blue as well. And this is where he pulls time on Bailey Cole. We've just seen Bailey Cole's pulled over 30 seconds out of him on that last lap. He's really pulled time back, and this is where Bailey loses his time every single lap.
So Vaughn Gittin Jr., Fun Haver off-road team. We had Lauren, his teammate, in there. Left front
yeah,
flat
left front tires
tire.
are flat. Yep.
That's gonna put him off pace. So Brad Lovell has a little bit of breathing room right
It's
now.
not just that. I'm thinking about that young man who's just behind him.
Bailey
I'm thinking
Cole.
about Bailey Cole. Can Bailey do anything here? And it looks like he hasn't got a tyre in the rack. I might be mistaken, but I don't think he's got a spare. So he's got to go himself around to the finish. So he's got at least 7 minutes of racing. Now Bailey's taken a slightly different line to what he's taken previously, and I think he's within 30 seconds.
He's within striking distance for
He
sure.
is now.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. is leading the Eastern Series. It's going to be down to this race. I think he's still going to have it locked down, but Bailey Cole is giving him a run for his money here at the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall.
And I think we're going to see a real battle when they get to the Bronco Rocks. I think that's where we're going to see Bailey Cole catch up with Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Yeah, through those big boulders, that flat tire is really going to hurt him.
Yeah, it is indeed.
And there's our race leader, Brad Lovell, that AMSOIL Bronco, still running strong. And you can see the path they're taking because they're coming through that water hole and dragging the water behind them. It's really cool to see. And right here, there's multiple lines you can come through, but that left section, if you hit it just right, it's a little quicker.
I think we're going to see those 4400 cars going right up on that wall.
Yep,
and
right
opening
here.
the throttles.
Yep. Well, I was talking to Lauren about that. Right here, you get on that wall and just hammer it. And just what he's doing there, the right rear tire will slide down just a little bit. But if you keep your momentum there, you can stay up out of the water and really have some fun.
Yeah, I
up there.
reckon, chatting to some of the guys here, this could be an area of the course where we see the 44s hitting over 100 mile an hour. And that's John Schaefer there making his way through. Such a great looking car, such an iconic vehicle on the stock course.
John
I'm
Schaefer.
more used to seeing Land Rovers where I come from, but you can't help but love a Jeep in America, can you?
Oh, absolutely. The Jeeps, the Broncos, the Toyotas, we love them all. But John Schaefer's been racing the 4600 Spider Tracks for a very long time. Great to see him still there. And there is Brad Lovell getting ready to pass John Schaefer in the Bronco Boulders.
Yeah, and Brad's just makes it look so effortless. Just picks his line with consummate ease. The sign of a true professional. Doesn't hurry, doesn't rush.
Just smooth and consistent.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about.
Takes that bigger rock line and just makes it look so easy. And that's the beauty thing. That's the beautiful thing about talent. It just shines through every single time. I was chatting to Brad earlier. He was talking about nerves and saying, he still gets that rush of adrenaline through his body just as he sits on the hour before he starts a race. Even so many years after so many years of racing, as we watch Jeremy Purick still showing good pace towards the end of the race here. He's currently in 5th position behind John Schaefer, Bailey Cole, Vaughn Gittin Jr., and our race leader, Brad Lovell. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening between Vaughn Gittins Jr. and, of course, Bailey Cole.
It's going to be down to the wire for sure, because remember, Vaughn Gittin has that flat tire.
I can tell you now that they are physically within can see each other.
Oh, but Vaughn Gittin's still out front just a little bit, so Vaughn is going to push hard all the way to the finish line, but Bailey Cole is really trying to reel him in.
There's Vaughn Gittins Jr. now. And is that tyre holding up? No, it's flat, but it might be a little bit of air in it, but there's not enough. But can he hold on to pace? Can he keep Bailey Cole behind him? As our race leader, Brad Lovell, crosses the water for the last time, heads up, makes his way towards the Yukon launch. And where's Bailey Cole? Look at that, there is Bailey Cole. He can see Vaughn Gittins Jr. He's reeling him in. Every single lap he's been faster through this section than Vaughn.
I am surprised Vaughn's moving that quick with that left front flat tire, but he's still moving.
He's got nothing to lose apart from second place. So he wants to hang it on in there, so he's going to send it. He's going to make sure he tries to stay out there.
And in national points, they're only separated by 16 points. It's going to be, by 4 points.
Oh, wow. This is absolutely all to play for here. Can Bailey Cole find something?
Wow, so it's going to come down to this last finish to brings home the national championship. Brad Lovell looks like he has it locked in. Is it going to be Vaughn or Bailey? It depends on this finish. How they physically finish on course is how they're going to end up for the Nitto National Championship.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Tell him.
So there's Jeremy Purick there making his way through the bottom of Little Blue as we head back out on course. And somewhere over there towards that dam are our race leaders. Brad Lovell, Vaughn Gittins Jr. and Bailey Cole. And that is Vaughn Gittins Jr. And he's moving remarkably well considering he has a flat front.
Left tire.
Was he slowing?
Oh, he is slowing down. Remember Lauren was talking about they were having some electrical gremlins with the water.
He gets it back together again. Now Bailey Cole must be able to see him.
And here comes Brad Lovell. He's about to win the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall. 30 seconds to go. As long as he can keep it together, he's got the National Championship locked down, the Western Series Championship locked down, and the Legends of the Fall. He's going to take home some hardware today, and it is none other than Brad Lovell, the unofficial winner for the 2022 Method Race Wheels Legends of the Fall.
What a fantastic display of driving there from Brad Lovell. He qualified first, he started first, he finished first. An absolutely perfect race. Now we're going to see the battle for second place. We've got Bailey Cole. It looks like he's lost some time there to Vaughn Gittins Jr. somewhere out the back in the Bronco Rocks. He was much closer than that earlier on.
So Brad Lovell head up here. We'll give away some Laser Nut trophies here in just a little bit. Got to make sure everything shakes out, dot our I's, cross our T's, but Brad Lovell has to be a happy, happy man right now. And then tomorrow he goes get some more hardware from the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame.
He does indeed.
Talk about an all-star weekend for Brad Lovell. And look at that, Lauren Healy's coming over here. Even though he just beat his teammate Vaughn Gittins Jr., it's all smiles, high fives, and fist bumps.
Absolutely. Watching John Schaefer now. He is lap traffic, unfortunately, and behind him is the second place vehicle of Vaughn Gittins Jr. He's supposed to be nursing a flat, but it doesn't look like it slowed him down at all. As he heads towards the line, and for second place. Only a few seconds out now from the checkered flag. And it's Vaughn Gittins Jr. in his Bronco. Cool Brocky makes his way round. And he crosses the line and takes the checkered flag for second place here at Legends of the Fall.
So he gets second place here at this race. He also gets second place in the Nitto National Championship and in the Eastern Series. He wins that one too. So Vaughn Gittins Jr. with an exceptional season in that Bronco.
Indeed, and it's a Bronco lockout 1 and 2. We're just waiting for Bailey Cole to come around now and see if he can lock out the top 3 for the Broncos. And look at this, you can see the steering damper hanging off that car.
John Williams having a little bit of issue there. There's Kendall Glines coming down the Rigid Ridge at Little Blue. He's got his son Brexton riding shotgun. What a great race we have for the 4600 Spider Track stock class.
I was just looking at Vaughn Gittins Jr.'s car there, and it looked like the tyre was still up.
So were we calling that wrong the whole time?
No. I wonder if he's running liners.
Possibly.
I think he might be running liners. There's going to be an interesting call on that one, that's for sure. Okay, this is Bailey Cole now coming across the line.
So in third position, number 13, Bailey Cole, getting ready to grab the checkered flag. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 Bronco sweep for the 4600 Spider Track stock class. And Bailey Cole should take home third in Nationals. And it's going to be maybe second or third in East. It's going to be really close for Bailey Cole.
Indeed, when we're watching Tom Biddle there, his head down and tail up. Back in Little Blue. But it's the Broncos that lock out the top 3.
So first goes to Brad Lovell, second Vaughn Gittins Jr., and third Bailey Cole. We'll make sure, we'll have to check with timing, make sure there's no issues there, but it's looking good for Ford Performance, and they are going to take some money home from Ford Contingency.
Indeed, they're the only 3 vehicles to have completed 9 laps of our course. What a fantastic race.
What a
fantastic weekend.
day. And we are just getting started. We still have so much more going on later today and tonight. And then tomorrow, we're racing here in Disney. We're racing at Mid-America Outdoors. We have Trunk or Treat in Disney tonight. We have Trunk or Treat at Mid-America Outdoors at Jay, Oklahoma tomorrow. There's so much stuff to do for the family. Bring them out. This is going to be an absolutely epic weekend. Jeremy Burek still making his way around. So please stay tuned in. We have some LaserNut trophies to give away here in just a little bit. And then at 3 p.m. Central, we kick out the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. I believe there should be 46 competitors in that. 3 different classes all racing at the same time. There's going to be action everywhere.
Yeah, let's not forget we've got a action-packed afternoon still ahead with the 4900 class. The UTV's going out there. Paul Wolf is going to be on the front row of the grid, and that's going to be spectacular to watch. Tom Biddle's out of the car. I think he's broken something in the front end here. He didn't seem to be driving backwards at all. Oh, there's Jason, one of our recovery crew.
So that's the main line there in Little Blue that Tom Biddle is about the only one that's been running that one. But, hey, you know what you like. Here you are. But a tough break for him. There's Benji, another one of our volunteers out back helping everything go smooth.
Yeah, they seem to have him hooked up and pulled out so it can get fixed. But still the race here continues at Legends of the Fall here in Disney, Oklahoma.
And remember, this is a double points race, so there's a lot on the line here at Legends of the Fall and for the Nitto National Championship. So let's give a huge shout out to Can-Am, Ford, Bronco, Monster Energy, Optima Batteries, 4-Wheel Parts, Progressive Insurance,
King Shocks, LaserNut, Griffin Radiator, VP Racing Fuels, Nitto Tire, Holly EFI, and King of the Hammers.
PCI Race Radios, Axial RC Cars, Method Race Wheels, and AMSOIL.
Spider Tracks, Recaro Seats, Baja Jerky, and Wheelan.
Off the Grid Clothing, MBRP, Yukon Gear and Axle, HCR, and Warren and Factor 55.
ARB 4x4 accessories, Rigid, Brannick Motorsports, Tread Lightly, and Action Sport Canopies.
What a great weekend we've had here at South Grand Lake. It's been awesome all weekend long, and we are just getting started. We've been working great with Langley and Disney, but South Grand Lake is a place to be right now.
Been an absolutely fantastic race this afternoon. Let's say don't go anywhere. We've only just got started. We've got the 4900 UTV class coming up very soon. We're going to get these cars over the line. We're going to hand out some trophies, and then we're going to go racing.
John Williams coming through. See where that shakes him out, because he was sitting in 4th position in the national points. So it'll be a battle between him and Kendall Gline, see if who shakes up there. But I believe it's going to be Brad Lovell, Vaughn Gittins Jr., and Bailey Cole here at Legends of the Fall and at the Nitto National Championship for the Nationals. And then Brad Lovell looks like he's going to win the Western Series. John Williams should get 2nd in the Western Series. And I believe Albert Contreras could get 3rd or 4th. In the Eastern Series, it should be Vaughn Gittins Jr., John Schaefer, and Bailey Cole.
And still out on course now, it's Jeremy Burek.
You know what? I think Brad Lovell just took over third position in the Eastern Series. Wow. He's going to take home some hardware.
Is he going to have enough room for all this stuff?
Well, his guys will, because he's flying out in the morning to go to Vegas.
Yes, indeed. For more hardware. So Jeremy Purick making his way across the Recaro rocks as he heads down towards the final water splash and then towards the checkered flag. Had a solid race here today.
Coming out of the Recaro rocks, just a few more turns to go, and Jeremy Purick, Mr. Rock Crawler Suspension himself, be grabbing the checkered flag. Well, Jim, it's been a great day of racing, but it is not over yet. This is going to be absolutely mental all weekend long, so be sure to tune in, ultra4racing.com/live. Get on the MAO app, download it for Apple or Google. Hit that Ultra 4 and MAO Facebook, start a watch party, share it, hashtag it up.
So it's Tom Biddle there, but this is all about Jeremy Purick making his way towards the finish line. Comes through the final water splash. He's going to make his way around that slight left-hander. He'll see the finish arch and race director JT Taylor standing there with the checkered flag. Another one crosses the line. Jeremy Purick has also completed 7 laps. It's a great race there from Jeremy. It looks like that he secured 5th position unofficially in today's race.
And look at that, Tom Biddle is back in action, so the recovery crew got him saved. So remember, there is no outside assistance unless it's one of our safety crews. So they got him unhooked and got back going. Otherwise, fellow competitors can help.
And there's Mick Henson there. Now it looks like he might be broken, looks like he might be limping back, because I think he's going the opposite way onto the track there.
Yep, he is out of the race, it looks like. So tough break for Mick Henson.
Yeah,
you saw how much he was pushing. He was bound to break the little Toyota. And look, tailgate's still there. Barely.
Bit of tailgate surfing later on, my friend.
So there's a great angle of what's going on. So you can cross right where Mick Henson's crossing in between races and go back to the back trail area. But you cannot cross this during a hot race course. So if you're wanting to go trail riding in the back, your chance is about here to cross on out. Or if you want to come back from the woods, we'll let you back in. We'll be doing that off and on all weekend long.
Yeah, Mick Henson there, he's literally limping it back across. So let's have a quick roundup of our top 5. In 5th position, we just saw across the line is Jeremy Purick with 7 laps. In 4th place is John Safer, also on 7 laps. Then in 3rd place is Bailey Cole with 9 laps. In 2nd place, Vaughn Gittin Jr. with 9 laps. And in 1st place, we've said his name so many times today, and it's so well deserved. It's Brad Lovell, also with 9 laps and the fastest lap of the race with a 9 minutes and 57 seconds.
That is impressive to a T. I'm telling you, Brad Lovell is a wheel man. He can do a little bit of everything.
Well, let's put some perspective on that. The fastest lap for Vaughn Gittin Jr. was a 10:14.
Wow.
That's nearly 17 seconds faster. That's remarkable.
And Vaughn Gittin Jr. is no slouch for sure.
He is no slouch. He's been an Ultra 4 national champion in the past. He knows his job. So Mars, we've had a fantastic day. It started with qualifying earlier on. We went through all of the classes. We started with the 4600 stock class, which we're looking at right here now. We then went to 4500s. Sorry, the 4900s.
Yeah, there you go. You skipped the 49s, then 45s.
Then we had the 45s, then we had the 48s, and then, of course, it was the big boys. It was the 44s, and those 44s delivered, didn't they?
It was so fun to watch, and it was so fast, so much going on all at the same time. It was kind of hard to keep track of who was who and where was what. But, man, it made for some great action. We saw a little bit of carnage. Chris Branton with that blistering fast run. We saw Andrew Gorman do a little wheel stand. We saw Casey Gilbert really pushing hard. It was a great qualifier for sure.
I have to say, when we saw Casey Gilbert cross the line, I did wonder if that was going to be the fastest time of the day. I mean, it was absolutely storming.
And smooth.
Ironically, he found himself outside of the top 10. I mean, that's how close this all is. I think we had over 20 cars separated by less than 3.5 seconds.
That's crazy. It's going to make for a great afternoon tomorrow.
Yeah, let's not forget we have an awful lot of racing here still to come here today and tomorrow.
Yeah, let's kind of run through the rest of the day's schedule. So we're wrapping up the 4600 Spider Track stock class at 3 p.m. Central Time. Will be the 4900 Can-Am UTV class.
Yep, then at 4 p.m. on the main street up in Disney, we're going to be having a lineup of the 4400 class cars.
And then at 6 p.m. tonight, we'll do the Ultra 4 170 race, the future of our sport.
Indeed, do not miss that. Then between 6 and 8, we're going to have the Aces Wild Band up on the main stage, up in the downtown Disney.
And then we'll have the Ultra 4 and NRRA Racer Appreciation Dinner. And then at 8:30, Casey Donahue takes the stage, is going to rock Disney in South Grand Lake.
It's going to be a hell of a party later on today, but let's not forget about Saturday, tomorrow. So between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.
will be the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class and the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class.
And then at 1 p.m. is the big dogs. It's the unlimited 4400 class racing for the national championships.
And then at 4 p.m. will be the NRA on Nasty Girl doing a little bit of rock bouncing.
Yeah, that's literally just behind where we're sat right now. It's, when the camera comes onto us, you can literally see the bomb and Nasty Girl's literally between us. And an amazing hill climb. Then at 4:30, it's going to be the Ultra 4 award ceremony. And then at 7 p.m., it's going to be the National Rock Racing Association Awards. So it's going to be an action-packed day. And looking, we're just zooming in here now. Look at this, Miles. This is Nasty Girl. This is what they're going to be racing up tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be one heck of a show. I cannot wait to watch that. Timmy Cameron, he was on the show earlier today with Speed Sport and Ralph, and he won the bouncer class, won the UTV class today. It was a great show. They're a lot of fun to watch. But don't forget, we're also at Mid-America Outdoors tomorrow for the Mid-America Side-by-Side Championship Series and the Pit Bike Series. They're doing their own truck or treat, their own spook trail. There is so much to do in the South Grand Lake area. If you're ever in the area, come on out. We're here tonight and then at Mid-America's tomorrow. There's so much going on for the family.
It's a celebration of off-road racing. It's a celebration of off-road life, and that's what we love about coming out here.
And if you're listening and you are one of our racers, please start lining up at downtown at 3 p.m. for the 4 p.m. Trunk or Treat. So if you are watching, you want to shine up your car a little bit, come check out some, let the kids check out your car, throw out some candy. Please be a part of it. It's going to be a great thing.
Indeed. And there's Tom Biddle making his way through the Bronco Rocks. He's got about another 5 or 10 minutes of racecourse time before he sees the checkered flag. And I think Tom is our last car out on course now. Oh, look at that for a view, Miles.
Yeah, there's South Grand Lake. There's the big dam that crosses. Just to our left is the golf course. And that lake is absolutely phenomenal. That is a great, great look. At the far left is the staircase, part of our race course. And look at the color of the leaves. This place is absolutely beautiful. So, Jim, this is your first time in the South Grand Lake area. What do you think?
It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. Never been anywhere like it before in my life. It's a privilege to race here. It's a privilege to come here and talk about the races. It really is something very, very special. And as I said before, can't wait for tomorrow. Can't wait for those 4400 class cars to get out here on course and show us what they can do.
It's going to be absolutely insane. I think we have 33 4400 cars, which is pretty impressive. It's going to be one heck of a show. But here in about just over an hour, we'll be racing the 4900 Can-Am UTV class.
And still we've got cars on course. Is that Kendall Klein I see now?
I believe you are correct. Heading through the last little water section and be grabbing the checkered flag.
No, I think that's Adam Colon, actually.
You are. Yep, you nailed it. They look very similar from the high side.
Very similar shaped car, yeah. As people would say, just another Jeep. But they're certainly not that. And he's making his way round now. We'll get confirmation of how many laps he's completed. I think this is completion of his 4th lap. It is indeed. And Adam Colon crosses the line in 10th position.
And there's Tom Biddle still pushing strong. The right front got a little beat up there in little blue, but he got it going and he's still racing.
So this race is drawing to a close here at Legends of the Fall. And this is the first day of racing and it's been absolutely fantastic. Qualifying earlier today for all the classes in Ultra 4, and then this is our very first race. This is the Spider-Tracks 4600 stock class. And earlier we saw Brad Lovell crossing the line for an unofficial first place, followed by Vaughn Gittin Jr. and then Bailey Cole, who were the only 3 cars to have completed 9 laps inside the hour and a half.
What an impressive battle that was out on course. So much fun to watch. I hope you all enjoyed it just as much as we did. A huge shout out to the entire production crew. Some of them were out here at 5 a.m. this morning getting everything set up. I've been out here for a week and a half already getting everything going, and it's just been so much fun to put it all together and put on a show for you back at home and all of our marketing partners. There's the end of the Amsoil hot pits and just a great overview of how beautiful this is.
It really is truly spectacular. I'm still absolutely gobsmacked that we're allowed to race here. It's amazing. Got to say a massive shout out to the MAO crew who have made this happen through days and weeks of negotiations.
Yeah, Jason and Gayla Robinette have a big vision. They're proving their point. It is an amazing thing they're putting on with Mid-America Outdoors, the Ultra 4 family, all of our volunteers, the media, the safety, USAC, racer fans, and all of our sponsors. And we are about to hand out some Laser Nut trophies. Thank you to Cody Wagner and company. And don't forget, you can also order a replica if you want to give one to some of your crew or whatnot. Looks like they're getting them lined up for the podium. I think we have Pam Hall down there. She'll be ready for us here in just a little bit. So we're about an hour out from kicking off the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. I see a bunch of them getting ready to line up.
Look at those trophies, Mars. Made for us by Laser Nut.
What
Cody
a
Wagner
great
and his
shot.
crew. And here comes Tom Biddle. One more turn.
And I believe he's our last competitor out on course. That is moving, so Tom Biddle will be grabbing the checkered flag. And it is out.
It is. So Tom Biddle completes his 5th lap.
And that's what the stock class is all about. Everybody's out here to have fun. I still heard the crowd out there having fun, hooting and hollering for them. What a great shot. And look at the sportsmanship down there at the Jumbotron. Everybody's telling their race stories, giving handshakes and high fives. And look at Brad Lovell hugging his son and holding those trophies. Number 1. What a great job.
Yeah, so I expect we'll be going down, joining Pam down there very, very shortly. On the left there is Bailey Cole, our 3rd place. In the centre, it's Brad Lovell, our 1st place. And on the right-hand side is Vaughn Gittin Jr. Hopefully we'll be able to have a chat with these guys very, very shortly and hear all about their race. But at the moment, it's high fives all around.
What a wonderful weekend it's going to be here for Legends of the Fall in the South Grand Lake area. So much going on everywhere down here, and you can bounce between here and Jay for Mid-America Outdoors. It's going to be a great, great weekend.
Test.
These guys are still looking good and fresh. Any second now, we're going to be passing it down to Pam, and she's going to be finding out how these guys have been getting on course.
All right, we are here for our 4600 Spider-Track stock class. I am here, 3rd place finisher, Mr. Bailey Cole. It was a great day out there for you. I saw you going by. You did have a flat, I think, once. Oh, no, you didn't have a flat. That's right. But how was the track out there today?
Oh, it was great. We got a little aggressive trying to chase down the front row on the first lap, sucked in a little water, which kind of cut our horsepower down for the rest of the day, but just tried to be smooth and fast out there. Didn't get a single flat. Those Yokohamas held up great. Pretty awesome, the Vision wheels. And these Broncos. I mean, 1, 2, 3 again. Can't complain at all. It's pretty amazing.
I know you guys keep ending up here all together, 1, 2, and 3. It's awesome, like you're saying, to see all of you guys up here. But that's what it was your the water getting into the truck earlier is what I was noticing. But it's been an exciting year for you. Do you have plans for next year?
Hopefully keep on racing this Bronco, race these guys again, and hopefully end up where Brad's standing. I would rather be there.
I know you were chasing these guys down all day long. It was a great race out there. But who would you like to thank for getting you up here today?
Oh, so many important sponsors. 4-Wheel Parts, Yukon Gear and Axle, Fox Shocks, VP Race Fuels, Warren, and Yokohama, obviously, no flat tires. But even more important than that, all the crew that helped work on the car and get it to the start line and to the finish line. Couldn't do it without them.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your podium finish today, and we'll see you later on. All right, we're going to go on over here to our second place finisher, Mr. Vaughn Gittin Jr. You did have a tiny flat, but you guys got that changed out. Obviously a great day. Got a lot of more seat time for the 4400 race tomorrow. How do you feel about today's race?
Feeling really good about the race. I'm sitting here pondering how Brad was able to get 10, 15 seconds a lap on us because we were pushing these Broncos so hard, and we had a good battle for a while, and it was just crazy out there. Like, these things are literal war horses. And it's been just an epic year battling all these guys. And it's just a really amazing feat to bring out Broncos first year, win hammers, 1, 2, 3 of the year in the championship. Just a huge testament to Bronco and the whole Ford Performance crew. It's just been, I'm just grateful. And it's been so fun. Eric caught a perfect race this week, this event. And, yeah, I feel like we didn't really make any mistakes, and it was just one of those, like, felt like it was a perfect race, but there's always more on the table, and that's what I love about this sport. It's you think you're doing the best you can, but there's always more to be gained. So, yeah, had an absolute blast, amazing practice for tomorrow's 4400 race. We know every rock out there, we know all the lines, so I got no excuses when it comes to tomorrow.
Well, I noticed that your drifting skills came in handy when you were coming down that last turn right here before the finish line. I can't remember which lap it was because you guys did so many laps today, but it was pretty cool to see you drift this Bronco out here in the rocks. Did the water help that out a little bit?
Yeah, coming out of the water there, and we had to get, I mean, this is one of the only long straights, so you got to get every bit of run you could. So I was trying to keep it as straight as possible, but these turbos spool up and it goes. So, yeah, I held on. I've been there in that moment before, so it worked out.
Just a time or two, right?
Once or twice, yep.
Awesome. Well, who do you have to thank for getting you up here today?
Just huge thanks to Optima Batteries. We went through a ton of water this weekend, and electronics and obviously batteries working when they're submerged underwater. It's pretty impressive what their batteries can handle. New tires, obviously. Without these rubber, we're not going anywhere. And Ford Performance, absolutely just unbelievable. These Broncos, the whole Bronco team, you guys have put so much passion into these trucks, and every time I get behind the wheel, but I'm blown away. So Fox Shocks, these things, I'm dropping off these ledges at 80 miles an hour, it just doesn't even care. So we've got a ton of great partners, and Pennzoil, Project X, Shell Rotella, and just an absolutely amazing group of people that support us and let us have the fun that we do and call it a job. So it's amazing.
Awesome. Well, congratulations up here on your second place finish. We have Trunk or Treat tonight down there. The kids will get to come and see all of the Broncos. Yeah. Racing tomorrow, preparing. You're going to take it easy tonight and go to bed early?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to come out. I mean, I love smiles on faces, so I'm going to come out and toss out some high fives with the kids, and then we'll hit the bed pretty early tonight and get ready for a good race tomorrow, and then celebrate the year tomorrow evening. It's really incredible. This place, I didn't know what to expect being in Disney, Oklahoma. I've never heard of it, obviously, and the Ultra 4 family has been talking about it. It's just an absolutely unbelievable vibe. They've got jumbotrons all over the course. Like, it's just people everywhere. It's just really cool. So this is a start of something really cool at this place. I can feel it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again, and we'll see you later on tonight. What was that, Eric?
Our crew is amazing. We caught this thing on fire yesterday.
right at the ECU. It burnt all the wires up. They spent all evening until midnight taping all the wires up, and we came out. They got it back together. This one's for y'all, boys. Yeah.
Awesome. Good job. I know they were working hard out there when you guys did come in to get that flat, so they are an amazing crew. All right, we're going to move on over here to our number 1 first place winner, Mr. Brad Lovell. Great day out there. How is it with your son, of course, being in the car? Was he taking in all he can so he can take the reins soon?
Oh, yeah. This is a 100% family deal for us. My brother races King of the Hammers with me, and my boys, Byam, who's back here somewhere, and Adam have been alternating with who's running in 4600. And it's great. My wife's out here on the spotter radio, so it's really happy. It's the way it started for us, being a family event, and happy to still be doing that after 15, 20 years.
That's awesome. I was watching your son out there because I was over in the hot pits. It's pretty cool. He was trying to communicate because there was something going on and working his little tail end off. He could be a pit crew when he's not, or a crew chief when he's not in the car with you.
Well, that's the plan. These guys are the ones prepping the car in the shop when we're back home. And, that's the way we put it together. We did have a little radio problem. The scanner bounced around and changed radio frequencies on us. So we had Adam texting back and forth with Natalie, and finally we got it all worked out. So, we were trying to run a real aggressive pace out there, lining up against Vaughn right up there at the start. It's intense, and we got the jump going out of there, and we went around and hit the water a little too hard, and red light came on, and everything slowed down. So we got that resolved. Vaughn got by us, and then we really just tried to keep the pressure on after that, and it finally got by him. However, after that, we did get a flat, and that's where I really got to hand it off to the Fun Haver team. We were pitted with those guys, and they jumped in and they gave us a great pit stop. So very thankful to the team for the great sportsmanship and working together, and we're excited to be doing some races later this year with the same group. So look forward to that.
Well, awesome. I know when you came in, too, you actually came by with a flat, and you weren't able to come in because you were too far down the pits. So how was that lap having one flat, the whole entire lap?
Running on these BFGs, when they do go down like that, you can still run really hard. So the only place I noticed it is on the wall ride over there. I had to bail out because it was getting a little worse with that right rear being flat. But other than that, I honestly wouldn't have known. But, yeah, we missed it the first time because of the radio issues. So I think, honestly, we could run a couple laps on them. So when we get closer to the end of the race, we're just going to run it out.
Awesome. Well, who do you have to thank for getting you up here in this number 1 spot?
Well, first and foremost, my family, my brother, my wife, for all the work. We really tried to condense this event, and because we're keeping the kids in school. So, we've been running real hard and fast out here. And obviously AMSOIL. AMSOIL has been with us ever since the start of our racing career, been there to support us, and happy to have them here now. They came out with force. They have a display set up in downtown, and very proud to win this in front of them. Ford Performance is out here as well. We do a lot with Ford Performance, including the development on this truck. So great to have them out here. Great partner, great vehicle. Fox Shocks, BF Goodrich Tires, Method Wheels. Those are all the things getting us to the finish line. And we've been fortunate our whole racing career to run with the best partners. So very proud of that.
Yes, you're very well seasoned. You've been doing this a long time. But congratulations on that number 1 spot. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Or tonight, you're going to be doing the trunk or treat. But let's give it up for our 1, 2, and 3, Brad Lovell, Vaughn Gittin Jr., and Bailey Cole.
Okay, thank you very much, Pam.
Back
And
to you
thank
guys.
you very much to our top 3. Miles, what a race this has been.
It was absolutely awesome to watch. There was battles back and forth the entire race. So much fun out there on course. I love this new format, the hour and a half plus a lap. I mean, it just gives you so much time for strategy. You have pits, you have all that stuff to go into it, and wow, it was such a great race.
It's a true endurance race, isn't it? I mean, anybody who's never raced an hour and a half in one of these cars, it's brutal. It really beats you up, and it also really beats up the car as well.
Yeah, attrition, you sat in early, you saw that come in, and the tires weren't quite as big as a deal as I thought they were going to be, but there was definitely some out there, and I think that's going to be more common.
Yeah, let's not forget, though, this is a class with 13 vehicles in. The next class we're going to see, we've got nearly 50 cars in.
Just shy.
And that's going to change everything, because what's going to happen, these guys are going to be going out harder, they're going to go out faster, but then equally, they're slightly lighter vehicles, so therefore they might not get... It's going to be so much to look at, it's so difficult to guess and work out what's going to happen. But I know this, it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. And don't forget, at 6 p.m. tonight is the 170 race as well, the future of our sport, the young guys and gals gals out there will be having so much fun. We've got a fun little course we built for them, so be sure to stay tuned in for that. Tonight we're going to be having some fun with the trunk or treat, so be sure to tune in at 3 p.m. for the 4900 Can-Am UTV class. I'll be Miles Hasquist. You're Jim Marsden. We'll be back in just about an hour.